Hey everybody, well, okay, it looks like our ad break. I triggered an ad break so that, non-subscribers wouldn't have to deal with ads for the first little while. But, now, all that's left to do, where's my... Well, I guess I might as well. Do I even have this set up right? I don't even know. You know what, I'm gonna go to the setup, the, layout that I know is actually set up properly, which would be my layout for my warm-up game, which is going to be Pokemon Pinball. Hey everybody, I'm Super Train Station H, autistic gamer and writer. My little box thing that I use to so that my keying out the black doesn't blend in with the box and make weird effects is sticking out a bit more than usual. I had to readjust my avatar's proportions last second because this is the first time I've used this avatar since I've been on this computer. I've used Streamlabs Desktop plenty since I started using this. So we're going to be playing Pokemon Pinball in in black and white mode, in monochrome, you know, DMG 001 mode. I am using the Analog Pocket to play this game off an original cartridge. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with my format, usually I'll play a few minutes of a score attack type game. I do some of my more sort of general just chatting type stuff. And then once that's out the way, you know, give people, you know, give notifications a chance to come out, give people a chance to like, oh, you know, H is on, let me go ahead and make popcorn or whatever it is people like to do. But when I played this back in the day, and how most people played this, was on a Game Boy Color, but it was actually fully compatible with the original Game Boy, and I only played it once. Now, I was very excited. I remember reading, looking at screenshots on online web pages, fan web pages, of people who had imported the Japanese version of the game, because even then, even though they were once Pokemon hit big in the US, they were turning around the games relatively quickly. But it still felt like an eternity between when I got Pokémon Red and when Pokemon Pinball came out. And in the lead up, before they even started marketing for the US in anticipation of the game's release, there were reviews out online of people who had imported the Japanese version on websites like EAGB, the good old Euro-Asia Game Boy. And I remember looking at those screenshots, and there was even somewhere, I think there was even an online video, which was not easy to come by back then. It was a rarity. It took, you know, 15-20 minutes to load at best if you're lucky, and it was in very low, like, quality, postage stamp size resolution, but it was a video, and it was on your computer, which was such an amazing thing, such a novel thing back then, of the Japanese commercial for Pokemon Pinball. And at the time, I just remember, like, and then when they actually started promoting it in Nintendo Power, I remember reading the preview for it over and over and over. And eventually I rented it from Blockbuster once, never actually asked my parents for it. I didn't have an allowance, so I didn't have that. And aside from that, I just had birthday and Christmas, and I never really asked for it on either of those, so I just ended up never getting it. I only ended up owning the cartridge in the lead up to playing it on stream. I actually spent more time with Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire for the Game Boy Advance, but that's another game that I did not get until long after its time at retail as a currently available game. Doggone. Yeah, I actually got that game. There was a point where I was working, I had a retail job at a dollar store. I had a dinky little pathetic 10-minute break. Hey there, Kalakaboy. Happy Saturday to you, too. Yeah, this is the first time I'm using playing Pokemon Pinball on stream using my new streaming PC and video production PC. And I'm just telling the story of how I actually have more... I first owned Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, but it wasn't until like 2013, I believe it was. It was after... Yeah, it was after I had got my first... It was during like one of my first retail jobs. It was at a dollar store. I had a dinky little 10-minute break. So I'm like, okay, I don't really have time to get into a big DS game. Let me get some use out of my Game Boy Micro. What's a good game for my Game Boy Micro that I'd like? Hey, how about a pinball game? I like Pokemon. I like pinball. How about Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire? So it worked out perfect. So I chugged down my little juice box and played the game for a few minutes in the dank, dark back stock room of the dollar store with its cinder block walls and its little like card table that was there. Yeah, you're the only one here right now. So I only just started streaming, so we'll see if anyone else pops in. And when they do come, whether or not they're standing guard in the silent squad. Oh, I forgot that, yeah, I forgot that, Bellsprout has that little winky, you know, that little, I can't wink with this avatar. That cute little, like, wink avatar, in their portrait. Alright. So, oh yeah, and Kalakaboy, I had my second ever bubble tea earlier today. I was at a mall, looking for some shirts. I didn't end up getting shirts, but I didn't end up... For once, the bubble tea, and especially for a Saturday, and this is at my local mall, but for once the bubble tea place usually has, like, a line that's, like, you know, several, like, that's so long it crosses in front of several other stores. But this time around, there's only one person in line in front of me. Actually, technically two, but I think they only ordered one bubble tea, so... Yeah, I got blueberry with tapioca bubbles. Yeah, I like the tapioca kind more than like the squishy poppy kind. Yeah, so and this is the first bubble tea I had since my first one, which must have been in 2022 or it was in 2022 or 2023 at the absolute latest. And, yeah, so that's what I had. Now, I drank it, and I ended up, you know, if I was thinking, I probably would have saved it, because they have, the way it is, they make it fresh, but then it's kind of sealed until you put the straw through it, which is probably how they're typically made, I don't know. But, I could have saved it because I got some sushi on the way back. I found there's this little sushi takeout place. I used to order through DoorDash, or not DoorDash, or Postmates or whatever, but I realized that if I go there in person, well, first off, I realized the place wasn't it's a considerable drive, but it's closer than the mall, I'll say that. And what ended up happening was I realized, oh, if I go in person, I can order tamago nigiri, which is not something they actually have on their menu. So I could order tamago nigiri, because I honestly love tamago, and a couple of soy tofu onigiris. So yeah, lots of eggs and rice for my dinner after stream today. And Flackaboy in chat is saying that chewy tapioca is what they prefer, not so much into the popping type. Yeah, I had a few, and then I realized, no, I need to wait and let the flavor of the tea soak into the little tapioca bubbles. So, yeah, now, I just want to put, you know, sort of a, I mean, he's made this public, on YouTube, but, Pete Dorr here on Twitch, he recently had a pretty serious health scare. And Pete Dorr is one of the reasons that I'm started streaming. A huge supporter of me from the very beginning. It gave me a lot of confidence, telling me that, you know, and, you know, as a professional streamer, a professional retro streamer at that, well, mostly retro and modern variety, but telling me that my first stream, in terms of presentation, in terms of my on-camera presence, was better than a lot of people he knows who's been doing it for years at that point, was a huge, like, honor. So, oh, Clackaboy's asking, do they have black milk tea? That classic basic item. Curious what I think. Some places have oolong, black, or Earl Grey. You know, I would try that. It just would seem interesting to try it. So I would definitely be willing to give it a shot. Now, we only have about 90 seconds left to play before we switch on to our main game, Pokémon Red. So on, in terms of, oh yeah, Clackaboy, I know I mentioned this, elsewhere, but I know I said something about my, my 30th anniversary stream being the last Friday of this month, with, and then doing another stream Saturday. I decided I'm going to have this the last Saturday of this month, which, in May 2025 happens to be the last day of the month. The last day of this month, that Saturday the 31st, is going to be my, my 20th anniversary stream, and it's going to be my regular stream on Saturday. And I'm going to play a variety of games instead of, Pokemon for that day. I thought about maybe playing, you know, 8-Bit Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Gear, that being my first, game I played on stream. Back when I started streaming in 2020, but I'm like, you know what? I'd rather... I decided the best stream I'd do, especially since I'm gonna try to go for a bit of a longer one, would probably be a little... my traditional comfy pair of train videos, the Snowden Mountain Railway video, and the Teleclyn Railway videos, the two old documentaries about those two railways in Wales. And, hold on, let me grab a little water. Yeah. No, I just hope, you know, Pete's, you know, he's healing up and he says he's gonna make some lifestyle adjustments to, you know, to improve his life and his, well-being in the future. You know, whoever anyone else wants to choose to raid into is their own business, but I know, it's often the case that we don't stream at the same time, or I'm not streaming, I'm usually not live when, he usually finishes streaming like 11 or 12 midnight, so there's not a lot of opportunity or overlap, and if it wasn't for Pete raiding me early on, I can't say I would have even made affiliate as early as I did. So, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I forgot. I have to take the analog pocket off of the dock, switch cartridges from Pokemon Pinball to Pokemon Red, put it back in the dock, and now we're ready. There you go. Pokemon Red. Let's get started. So this is the first time I've played this year, and it just so happens that between the various factors that led me to stop playing at the time that I did last December, I stopped at an excellent and opportune spot. We're 16 hours in. Just as a refresher, our team here, we got Jigglypuff, we got Beedrill. I don't even remember what attacks they had. This is the first time I'm booted it up, but Beedrill, a Fearow, a Pikachu, a Nidorino, and a Charmeleon. We've got some Pokemon in the daycare, I forgot which, but we're gonna come back and... yeah, and I think we want to level up Nidorino some more. We have a Moonstone we could use on them right now. We also have a Moonstone we could use on Jigglypuff, but I think we want to... but first... well, let's see what items we got. I think we should all be... and... yeah, we've got... yeah, we've got no money right now. We've got only 77 Poké Dollars, which is like... I don't know, like 77 cents. Because this money system is kind of based on the yen. So Pokemon... yeah, we've got a Nidorino and a Charmeleon. And, yeah, we're all set to go over to the St. Anne. Yeah, we got the ticket to get on board. I keep calling it the St. Anne. That's what it's called in the anime. In the game, it's called the SS Anne. I'd love to know why. Welcome to the SS Anne. Excuse me, do you have a ticket? H flash the SS ticket. Great, welcome to SSN. Yeah, so the boat is not to scale here, and if you find a way through trading to avoid having the ship sail away, because the ship's going to sail away once we finish the sequence, if you sail over to the right, there's a sprite for a pickup truck. And it's completely inexplicable because there's no evidence of motor vehicle traffic or cars or trucks or anything else anywhere in the game. So it's just this weird unused asset that they kind of just left in as an Easter egg. The passengers are restless. You might be challenged by the more bored ones. I mean, this is supposed to be a luxury cruise ship. Why haven't... Yeah, why aren't you providing entertainment? I really don't remember the layout of this whole sequence. Yeah, there's no flavor text. Haha, flavor text. Yeah, there's no flavor text when you check out the food. You, mon petit, we're busy here. Out of the way. Yeah, mon petit, little person. Yeah. I think, I don't know French. I saw an odd ball in the trash. Ahem, I am the chef. The main course is salmon du salad. Yeah, salmon confirmed to exist in the Pokemon world. The guest may gripe its fish again, however. Yeah, I don't think there would be any explicit references to eating meat or until Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with those dishes. Those like ham and lobster dishes. Snivel sniff. I only get to peel onions. Oh, he's peeling onions. Snivel. H found great ball. Did you hear about Snorlax? All it does is eat and sleep. Nope, there's only trash here. Hum-de-dum-de-do. I peel spuds every day. Hum-hum. Nope, there's only trash here. It would be cool if for this one it says there are potato skins inside. I'm so busy, I'm getting dizzy. Don't we feel that? So this is... Okay, so this is where they're cooking the food. And then they bring them over to... I guess these are supposed to be the tables for the passengers to eat at. Now, very refined music. I actually saw an interesting video sort of comparing... I guess, you know what, I'll do eat one floor at a time. Yeah, a very interesting video comparing like the sort of musical theory of Mozart to these early Pokemon games, because Game Boy basically has three... They were explaining Game Boy has 3 sound channels, and Mozart, when he composed for piano, was composing also for 3 voices, so that there are a lot of similar techniques they use to get a lot of variety and having strong varied melodies out of the sound. Kagabo was saying maybe someday you have your artist at a bubble milk tea cup hand in one of your Lunarian images. Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what, I've gotten some art lately. It's art that will be displayed in public, but I can't really talk much about it on stream. It's gonna, or even a Doorworm enjoying one. Oh, absolutely. Shh, I'm a global police agent. How good of a secret police agent, or secret police, that sounds kind of nefarious. A global police secret agent are you if you tell a random 10-year-old boy who walks into your cabin or your stateroom on a ship, I'm on the trail of Team Rocket. Well, if you're on the trail of Team Rocket, you need to disembark right here, because they're pretty active in this region right now. Uh-oh, we got our first trainer. I love Pokemon, do you? Oh, it's a little kid. Youngster wants to fight. Youngster sent out Nidoran, male. Wowie wow, I am glad I level grinded. I did not expect the first Pokemon we encountered Now because this trainer only has a single Pokemon, it may be leveled up higher than average for this region. We're gonna put you straight to sleep. There we go, now to start beating up on him. Yeah, the sprite kind of undersells how cute and sort of spiny, but also sort of fluffy and emotive Nidorann's ears are. It woke up after one turn, come on. Alright, we're gonna take him out, if not this turn, then next turn, this turn. They're gone. Yeah, I'm glad they did not get any focus energy jumped up moves on us. No, like, if I was gonna do some art like that, the move would probably be, like, a Lunarian doing something and then their Doorworm holding the drink for them. I collected these Pokemon from all around the world. Okay. I think she says something like, oh, my poor worldly Pokemon when you beat her. Now, mind you, I have not really played... I played through this game back when it first came out, basically twice, once in '99, another in 2000. Then, I played through it again in, like, 2005. I played through about 80% of the way, got to Cinnabar Island, and the save battery died. Then I played through it again in 2008. I played through it again. This is the first time I played it. 18, 19. Wow, okay, 2008, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wow, I haven't played this game in 17 years, and this game is closing in on 30 years old. Wowee, wow. Yeah, this looks a little more... Yeah, quick attack almost always hits first. I think you need to have absurd stats in order to get ahead of quick attack. And I think it might only be possible in some of the later games. Yeah, they're fast asleep. No. Yeah, this was back when Game Freak's creativity had yet to outpace the capabilities. No, like, the work required to get satisfactory results out of the hardware had yet to outpace their actual willingness to put work into these games at this point, right at the start. And a Nidoran female. Yeah, we'll use... Oh, it failed. Let's sing. Please don't poison me. Okay. Yay, and it hit. It hit good. The enemy Nidoran female fell asleep, and we will... Yeah, this is back when they used the language like enemy instead of foe or opponent. Yeah, I guess the idea of enemy was a little too intense, a little too cutthroat maybe for the style they wanted to go for. And plus, they probably didn't have a whole lot of leeway to alter with these, you know, messages that would appear frequently. I guess they only had so much leeway in terms of filling in that same spot in the text that was originally taken place by the Japanese text, so... Nice. Enemy... Okay. H defeated Lass. Oh no, I went around the world for these. H got 270. You hurt my poor worldly Pokemon. I demand that you heal them at a Pokemon Center. Yeah, when I get knocked out fully, I have to go. H found TMO8. What is TMO8? Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing within the game itself explaining that TM stands for Technical Machine. And I know a lot of like evangelical Christian websites in the 90s would be like, oh, it's TM, it stands for Transcendental Meditation, it's evil, and it's like, oh boy. Booted up a TM, it contained Body Slam. Let's see, which quote? Pikachu, Nidorino, Charmeleon, and Jigglypuff can all... I'll have to... Yeah, unlike later Pokemon games, like by the GBA era, I think, you can actually see how moves compared to other moves. And TMs can only be used once, then they go away forever. So I want to do some research before I dedicate to using Body Slam TM on one of my Pokemon. We are cruising around the world. Alright. I think that's more of a tour than a cruise. Alright. A cruise is so elegant yet cozy. Okay, these aren't trainers. I always travel with Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff. Poop, poo, poo. Yeah, no bed inspector status to earn. Yeah, I decided to go ahead. For those who may have been following Deltarune, when I was playing, I replayed Chapter 1. I decided that I played through Chapter 1 I played through 1 and 2 on Let's Plays years and years ago in like 2020. Or, no, in 2020 and 2021. I played Deltarune in Let's Plays. And I decided that when chapters 3 and 4 come out, I'm going to play them on my own time off screen. I might leave something recording just so if something crazy happens, I could, you know, get my reaction to it if something really wild happens, but it's like unlikely I'll be posting any of it. Waiter, I would like a cherry pie, please. I'm not room service, ma'am. Uh-oh, here we go. You pup! How dare you barge in! Yeah, one of those memorable lines of dialogue that I haven't thought about, even though I still consider it memorable. Yeah, lots of Nidoran. Jigglypuff's defense rose. Now let's put you to sleep and start beating up on you. No, okay. We lost out. Oh, come on. Third time's a charm. There we go. Nice. Critical hit. Okay. Can we finish this up before you wake back up? Okay, almost there. And oh, what's our set? Another. Yeah, so she drops my attack and I raise my defense. Now, I hope with all this dropping of my attack powers, I'm gonna hopefully I'm probably gonna need a couple extra turns to knock out this Nidoran, which may put out, depending on how lucky I am, they may wake up sooner. Oh. That's gonna take too long. Yeah, let's let's have Charmeleon finish this. And Nidoran remains asleep. Good. Okay. Critical hit. It woke up. Finished us off with Scratch, and that's the battle. Nice! Level 21. Humph, you rude child. H got 1,330 for winning. Come on. Come on, people. Couldn't have had him just give us 7 more Poke dollars, Poke yen, so we can get 1,337. Come on, okay. Yeah, let's save, actually. Not that I'm in fear of the game crashing or anything, but just, you know, you just save every once in a while. Yeah, so if you want to see chapters 1 and 2 of Deltarune, they're Let's Plays that I did offline of 1 and 2 back in like 2021. And then I did that's back when I was a camtuber though, so if you go look, you're gonna actually like see me on camera. Now I'm still like a camtuber. You're gonna in fact, my 20th anniversary stream, I'm gonna be on camera like how I used to be before about a year ago. I travel alone on my journeys. My Pokemon are my only friends. Would you like to beat the crap out of my friends, little boy? Okay. I didn't say that, but that's kind of what's happening. Oh, it's Rowlet. You know, I never, until I could see the sprites in such high resolution, I never before noticed that Growlithe's red and blue sprite has its mouth open. I always just interpreted it as having like sort of a sleek sort of like head. Okay. Well, fire versus fire is not going to go especially well. Now, what does Leer do again? Okay, that's the drop defense. Not going to do a lot of damage. Oh, yeah, that's nothing. And Clackaboy in chat saying they look forward to my anniversary. Yeah, and, you know, I'm not against... if I wasn't okay with appearing on camera, I wouldn't have been a camtuber for 4 out of my 5 years on Twitch. But I have invested significant resources into this avatar, and so I want to see if maybe I could, you know, have a certain appeal that I wouldn't have been able to, you know, as a camtuber. Now, yeah, I reasoned that they wouldn't be able to do too much damage to me in terms of using fire-type attacks on me, but the disparity, along with the level difference, is pretty extreme. I don't even have a water type. I'm definitely not sending Beedrill out, because Beedrill will have a type disadvantage. Ember... We're gonna drop their defense first. Not very effective. So do you use Leer again, or do you use your attack move twice? I would rather use my tactical... use up the PP, the power points, how many times I could use a move, on my tactical move, and then have my damage dealing move have more available PP on it. And this should do it. I mean, this will do it. Hey, another level up. H defeated gentlemen. My friends. H got 1,260. You should be nice to friends. You're the one who put them up for this battle. They probably wanted to chill out on the deck and play shuffleboard. Is shuffleboard a thing they do on cruise ships still? I know it's like this traditional, like, thing I hear about being done on, like, old, you know, steam ships. I just want to see. I don't know if this is all if this back row area thing is connected or what. In fact, hey there, Reliet, how you doing? Yeah, it's my first time playing Pokemon Red this year. Fortunately, when I decided to back off from Pokemon in late, you know, mid-December last year, I ended up like having all my Pokemon grinded up to level 20 and saving right before I started the St. Anne, so it was a good spot to step aside. So Reliet, just a little update. I decided that when Oh, Reliat's saying that they're playing the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster right now. You know, those are some games I've learned. I can't let myself play those games, and also certain things like Animal Crossing. I would cease to be a productive member of society, let alone taking basic care of myself. If I played one of those games that you could just fall, head first into and not come back. They'd probably have my face on the sides of milk boxes. Like, have you seen this man? And yes, the word sucker in that context is not a swear, Twitch. Thank you very much. But, since I do have a little money now, so, now let's look at... Actually, I don't have... No. First off, we're leaving so we could actually, Okay, we're gonna have to organize our items, which is gonna be a pain in the butt. Because instead of just putting it in the spot, you have to, like, manually cycle them through, like, one at a time, and it's a pain in the butt. Bicycle. Actually, no, I should have had... Now I gotta do it again, because I want my bicycle... Actually, how often? No. Actually, I'm switching those back, because I'm probably not gonna use the bike too much in this run. Town map... Pokeball. Alright, we got our healing items at the top, that's what matters the most. Yeah, and so I just wanted to focus on my other projects like barrier aggression and getting my streams ready and stuff like that, but I decided that even though I did replay Chapter 1 on stream, which is the first time I streamed Deltarune at all, because I did Chapters 1 and 2 as offline, Let's Plays that I recorded while I was not streaming, then I posted them to YouTube. And this time around, I decided that Chapters 3 and 4 are going to be on my own time, with the cameras off, and I'm actually just going to enjoy playing a video game. Most of my gaming, other than on the Panic Playdate system, has been done on stream. Whenever I'm not on stream, I'm typically Alright. This ship, she is a luxury liner for trainers. At every port we hold parties with invited trainers. Yeah, unlike the... How would it... I just came up with some funny lore. Like, this is the SS Anne. What if... And then in the anime, for whatever localization reason, they called it the Saint Anne? What if the SS Anne is the legit cruise ship for trainers? And then the Saint Anne is like a bootleg knockoff that was like created by Team Rocket, as a scam. Yeah, but I decided 3 and 4 and Deltarune are going to be on my own time. I may potentially, I doubt it. We'll see. I might just turn on the camera and not even narrate as I play and do the voices like if it was a Let's Play, and just so if something crazy happens, I could talk about it right then and there. But yeah, I'm probably, for the first time in a long time, actually just going to enjoy that. It's kind of, how wild is it? It was something like this. And I love these moments where someone will tell you about a Pokemon, and they'll show you what I guess in the universe is meant to be a drawing or a picture of it. But we'll see it as a Pokedex entry that's unfilled, as though we just saw it in a wild encounter. Oh, what was I talking about? I was saying something about... what? The Delta... Oh, yeah. How crazy is it that, honestly, my most anticipated things in gaming right now are Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4, with Deltarune graphically and presentation-wise taking after Earthbound, a game which 30 years ago was considered to have unacceptably low-quality graphics on the Super Nintendo. aside from that, my other thing I'm looking forward to most is Season 2 of the Panic Playdates subscription games, where every week a new game is pushed out to your system, and so everyone is going to get the same games at the same time and be able to experience them together and talk about them together. Those are the two things I'm looking forward to most in gaming right now, and not the Nintendo Switch 2. Check out what I fished up. Yeah, this is the Fisher sprite back when they used the same, like, you know, Gentleman of Broad Gauge overworld sprite. Now, Kalakaboy in chat is saying, with the opening of Epic Universe in Florida, you see yourself someday going there since they have a Super Nintendo World, which also includes the Donkey Kong Country Land? Someday, I know, like, Disney World alone would not lure me to Florida. Disney World plus Super Nintendo World and Universal in general, Universal's theme park in general over there, would lure me into Florida for theme parks, with a special interest on food, but I don't have anyone to go over there with, and I do travel a lot, but I have other things on my mind and on my that I need to spend my money on right now rather than a theme park trip, but it does make the Florida theme park scene far more attractive than it otherwise would be. So I'll use Focus Energy. Oh, is that a flying type move? Okay, yeah, even though... Yeah, so it's a fish type fish aquatic water type Pokemon, but Peck is a flying type move, so it's going to be very effective on my Beedrill here in terms of damage dealt. No, Kalakaboy, when we go to a theme park together, it's going to be when I'm out on the West Coast, which, I mean, I don't want to get your hopes up. I can't say when that'll be. But if it happens, you'll definitely hear about it. Yeah, I should have been going for this from the start. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Whew. Absolute beast. Okay. I don't have any grass-type Pokemon, but I do have Pikachu, who is an electric type, and with electric moves being very effective against water types. We will use... we'll go straight for the... I'm gonna go straight for the damage. Almost use the tactical move there. And Reliant's saying, am I doing a Nuzlocke or any other self-imposed rules? No, I'm just going for... I'm going for casual, 100% casual run. Maybe if I come back to this someday, which I'll tell you, if I come back to Pokémon Red after this playthrough is complete, it will be years down the line. And by the way, if anyone wants to see my my beautiful face, I'm on the last day of this month, the Saturday the 31st. Yeah, that's that. Don't worry, Rel. Yeah, that's just the time in Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, that's just synctotime.gov's real-time timer. I'm 16 hours in gameplay with Pokemon Red. And no, I haven't left the game running and then saved or anything like that. Yeah, I like to do like I know I think it's standard on Japanese terrestrial television, and on and Pokemon Black and White did it too, which I missed when they got rid of the feature, just to have the time visible. It was a very convenient feature. It's something I started last January when I started the Advanced Controller arc. I was talking over. I wasn't paying attention to. Alright, I was paying attention to. Yeah, it's another Goldeen. Yeah, Reliant's saying emulation spoiled them with the ability to go at 200% speed. You know, I don't know. I don't know if there's any options like that on the Analog Pocket. I have a jailbroken Analog Pocket. Though I do play all my Game Boy, all my handheld games have been with real cartridges. but I will. I know for I'm gonna be doing a webcam stream for my 5th anniversary stream on the Saturday the 31st at probably 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing my 30th anniversary stream. And after that, some things are going to change. I will be primarily still a VTuber. If I wasn't against appearing on camera or felt uncomfortable, I wouldn't have been doing... In fact, I plan to do some CamTuber YouTube videos in the near future. Competing against the young keeps me youthful. Yeah, I do want to do some plain old, just me on the front of a webcam YouTube videos in the near future. But I've invested significant resources in this model, and I do want to take advantage of the potential unique appeal that it could provide. But I haven't my hope at the time. Now, if long term, I could bring it back. The whole advanced controller storyline, the whole like H and the XLO token, and the advanced controller, and Detective Chad, and 40 Line, all these weird characters I was interacting with, that whole storyline, I will eventually bring that back, but doing a basic, 3 to 4 hour gameplay stream, let's see, do I want to, yeah, I think I want to switch to anyone other than Beedrill for this. I don't want him to get knocked out. We're gonna try to poison them. Try to be a little tactical with this. And now Kalakaboy in chat saying, when I do come to the West Coast, Disneyland is permitting something special this July. The first ever Walt Disney audio animatronic will be unveiled. Yeah, I know they've been a lot of statues, but they've never done an audio animatronic of him. I know, like, bringing back, deceased corporate icons in terms of like when you have a situation like Orville Redenbacher's Popcorn, where the actual or Colonel Sanders with KFC, when the actual founder of the business becomes a personality and they pass away, sometimes attempts to bring them back can come off a little tone deaf or imprecise. I know they did like a creepy CG Orville Redenbacher maybe 10-15 years ago. It did not go over well. Yeah, we're gonna just... Okay, please don't actually... Okay, good. I think that could actually paralyze as well. I did not want that to happen. Yeah, we're not even gonna... Oh! Critical hit. Nice. Age defeated gentleman. Yeah, and it's one of those things where I feel as though... I mean, let's be completely real. The way that Walt Disney was very averse to death and dying... Like, I know there's this urban legend that he had himself cryogenically frozen in anticipation of future, resurrection technology that could be developed someday. Like, the people who know him are like, he would never sign up for something like that because he was so severely averse to the idea of even acknowledging his own mortality in that way. Ah, I feel young again. We got 1,610. Let's see what he got here. What we have to steal out of your cabin. Max Ether, yeah, that'll be something we'll be saving for the end game for sure. We're gonna switch you down here. Yeah, we've got... Yeah, let's... We haven't fought with Furo yet. Only Pokemon that isn't at level 21 or is fully healed, so let's, let me just look at something. Oh, what's this? Oh. Something interesting just popped up on my phone, and I just wanted to... Oh, it's a DoorDash coupon. Okay, never mind. I thought it was going to be something interesting. Pokemon can cut down small bushes. Ah, yes, I have seen some Pokemon ferry people across the water. You're not going to show me a Lapras picture for my trouble, really? Ah, here we go. Which do you like, a strong Pokemon or a rare Pokemon? Now, if I remember, and I don't think his Pokemon are strong or rare, but after the fact he says, I like strong and rare Pokemon. Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, so for my... I know it's been a while since I've done a webcam stream. But for my webcam stream, my 5-year anniversary on the 31st, we're bringing out some of my classic, my favorite comfy watch-along videos while I play Nintendo's Versus Pinball. So we're gonna have the Railway with the Heart of Gold, which is a video made in the very early preservation era of the Teleclin Railway. And then, after that, we've got Snowdon Mountain Railway Experience of a Lifetime, which is a video made in the late 80s about the Snowdon Mountain Railway, both of which are in Wales. And then we're going to play a bunch of Mario Party. But you know, it's funny, the Teleclin Railway and the Snowdon Mountain Railway both have, I guess, tie-ins, or they both have fictional versions of them that exist on the island of Sodor. And, which, by the way, I want to remind everyone, I do have the Sodor lore reading back up. I'm not asking anyone to redeem it, but if someone does, I'll be ready for it. But, Clagaboy is saying something about the hands on my V2 model reminds me of Muppets like Kermit the Frog. Well, I mean, really, when... Okay, no, of course, save that exact moment for the motion capture for my hands, because I'm not wearing trackers or anything. My hands are being captured by the webcam itself. But really, in my experience, between the different means I use to control this model and how I perform with it, it really is a sort of digital puppetry, in a sense. And I sort of perform into or lean into certain aspects of how I gesture and the like that I don't when I'm cam tubing. And once again, okay, good. We don't have a water Pokemon or a grass type or anything that's uniquely effective against it. But we will drop their defense somewhat. Yeah, and my old computer, it had a habit of, well, whenever I was live, the motion capture on my hands wouldn't work right, so I never streamed using my hands. And if you look at me when I'm cam tubing, I really don't use my hands much or emote with my hands much in a way in which you see them on screen. I don't bring them into the field of view of the camera as it's cropped in my layout, which is basically what you see here is, if you've never seen me cam tube before, what you see here is basically exactly what you see when I'm cam tubing, except it's just me as a Lunarian and not me as a human in my apartment. So you don't see my hands that much, so the fact that you didn't see my hands much isn't something that anyone noticed to the point where they called it out, which is very interesting. Because I was concerned that it would be like immersion breaking a bit. Now, the whole storyline with the advanced controller, and 40-line, the non-binary being with a binary mind, and Red Hot boiling Detective Chad and all those other characters, that whole setting, that whole scenario, that's something that would make a simple 3-hour, 4-hour gameplay stream take weeks of planning and hours of preparation before I went live, between writing the scripts. But if you don't know, you could type in !lore, and I think it'll take you to the playlist where I was doing all of this stuff. But for the first, like, 6 months, first 7 months really, no, the first 6 months exactly, of my stream last year, I had this ongoing storyline that was interspersed with my regular streaming stuff, where... and this was, I was cam tubing back then, and the conclusion of that arc was the introduction of Lunarian H, like me using this VTuber model, as a distinct and separate, simultaneously existing character from Human H. It's not like, oh, Human H transformed into a Lunarian. He's actually simultaneously existing in a parallel universe while the evil AI, the advanced controller, had sent H to another, like, sort of a backrooms style negative dimension. No! Doggone! Okay, good. We lived it. We lived it. Just barely. We got lucky there. We got real lucky there. Okay. That was a gamble that I almost lost out on big time, and we are switching to a different Pokemon right now. We're switching to... Let's bring out Nidorino. Let's take a sip from my invisible water bottle. Yeah, and so I enjoyed doing it because people would often, like, I'm not criticizing other VTubers or anything like that, but sometimes people spend a lot of time on lore and they never discuss it in stream, or they never even bring it into like their stream in any way. So I wanted to, like, have the actual lore, the actual storyline, like the fact that I'm in front of a camera playing these games actually be the storyline and play into a progressive plot that developed with each week's stream, and it culminated in this plot twist where Lunarian H actually exists as a separate character, and Galactaboy is saying, I deserve an award for most innovative Twitch streamer. Aw, well, thank you. And Galactaboy is saying, I wish more people appreciate what I did last year. Well, down the line, when I pick up, let's say maybe even a dozen average viewers, I maybe might, see if it's something they'd be into, and actually, because I have 3 or 4 different arcs that I planned out for the storyline, and let's just say, the introduction sequence that introduced Lunarian H as a new character, there were several other H's introduced as well who appeared on stream. And let's just say we perhaps haven't seen the last of some of those if the storyline eventually continues. I'll just leave it at that. So H in front of a webcam and the lore is doggone, of course you can use Quick Attack, is Super Train Station H of Redemption Center 1, and Lunarian H, me with my VTuber model, is Super Train Station H of Redemption Center 5. And there were 3 other H's that got introduced in that sequence. That's the reason why Lunarian H, without a doorworm. And yes, the fact that Lunarian H, me in front of a webcam with a 3D VTuber model, does not have a doorworm living on his tail, whereas Lunarian H in all the artwork does have a doorworm on his tail. That is actually a plot point. Oh yes, and the Clackaboy says, don't forget Griffin H. Oh yes, Griffin H. And it's funny, when I said there may be some other versions of H we haven't even said the last of, I wasn't even considering Griffin H. Griffin H is depicted with a PNG tuber that I use for my writing streams, kind of an experimental thing I was doing about 2 years ago. I did some streams focused on writing. I'm gonna be straight up. I am, since January 2024, have been working on a book written about and from the perspective of Griffin H. And it's gonna be interesting. I'm working on that. I was saying this a year ago. I've been scrambling to finish that manuscript last year before July. I was trying to finish it, get the manuscript submitted to the publisher that I'm working with before Anthrocon, but that did not work out. Now, in my travels, I came to find out that I was in a city that had a furry convention going on in that city. And it's kind of wild, like, well, haha, wild, Anthros furries, haha. But I didn't realize that, I guess, what I was getting myself into by going to Anthrocon is my first, would this book be available on Amazon? Oh, absolutely it would be. Absolutely it would be. The captain looked really sick and pale. I hear many people get seasick. Yes, the book absolutely would be available. Actually, let me save. Gary better not be down this hallway. Okay. Yeah, that's some tuchus. I'm gonna go back and heal and get ready. No, because I forgot. I don't think I've explored the entirety of the ship yet, and I forgot whether or not the passage to the... And I forgot whether or not the passage to the captain's quarters was on the top floor or the bottom floor. Oh yeah, it's... yeah, and I know what the title of this book is going to be, assuming the developer, I mean my publisher, approves it. Our captain is a sword master. He can even teach us cut to Pokemon. Oh, okay. I think I want to save. I think I want to go ahead and heal up. Yeah, I know what the title of this book is going to be. I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to reveal it prematurely. But it is... The title of this book is something that would, in today's climate, be considered a provocative political statement when it really shouldn't be. But now it definitely is a political statement, and it's kind of like, okay, this whole book project got very interesting very quickly, because it's not a book I considered political, but the world's changing pretty fast these days. Alright. There we go. Thank you, your Pokemon are fighting fit. We hope to see you again. Yes, and you shall. Now, I can't believe we've already been streaming for an hour. But let's, actually, while I'm in the Pokemon Center, let's put away some items I won't be using anytime soon. Clackaboy's asking, will there be illustrations of Griffin H in it? Definitely on the cover. Definitely on the cover. No, that's not the... I wanted to go to items. Yeah, there'll definitely be one on the cover. We're going to deposit the rare candy. Yeah. Sorry about that yawn. I'm gonna deposit the Max Ether. And the... No. Oh, come on. And deposit... No. The TM08. No, the Max Ether. We already put in the TM08. There we go. And so we'll check out the, what looks like the topside deck area. And after that, we'll go and go help the captain, who Gary is standing in the way of. Yeah, this theme right here, the Vermilion City theme, very strong maritime, sailor, sort of naval sort of feeling vibe to it, which is as it should be, but a very great piece of composition for this very primitive hardware to give you the feel of this town. And I mean, which could be said about the music in general. Alright, so we're gonna go to the top floor and then to that outdoor area to the left of the map, or to the west. Oh no, that's okay. Immediately go the wrong way. I went to the kitchen and mess hall. Or dining room. Is like a mess hall more of like something you'd say on a military ship, and a dining room is... Okay, so we're another level up. Here's the guy who tells you the captain knows how to teach Pokemon to cut things. Ahoy there. Are you seasick? If I am, you probably shouldn't be challenging me to a battle. Sailor wants to fight. Sailor sent out Machop. Go Fiero. Okay. We don't have anything. We don't have Psychic Pokemon or anything too. I think. Wait, isn't? I think. We'll see if it plays out. I think fighting is super effective against flying for whatever reason. We'll see. Leer. We're gonna drop their defense first. Karate Chop. We'll find out. Oh, it's not super effective. Okay. Fury. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Okay, yeah. And that, if that hit 3 times, that would have been a knockout. I'm glad it hit twice, because if it didn't, we would have had to endure another turn. Fiero went to level 21! Okay, great. So there's gonna use Tentacool. Let's change to Pikachu. The obvious choice against a water type. Okay. Yeah, we got a decent amount of variety in spite of the fact that it seems as though, like on a ship, you'd think all the Pokemon would be, you know, all the trainers would be water themed, but they have a good, decent variety in spite of that. Yeah, let's use Thunder Wave and get tactical about it. Yeah, fully paralyzed. I like it says they we're struggling with the character count because it says, you know, enemy Pokemon is paralyzed, it may not attack. No, as though that's those that say it does not have permission to attack. What they mean is it may not be able to attack, but you could express more in fewer characters the way the Japanese language works. And there we go. Made that quick. H defeated Sailor. I was just careless. That can be said. My pa said there are 100 kinds of Pokemon. I think there are more. Over 1,000 want to try? Yeah, unfortunately a lot of them are in games that, in my opinion, are not worth my time or my money. And, okay. I feel ill. I stepped out to get some air. Yeah, we all know what these are those things with those cables. Scrubbing decks is hard work. Okay, let's see. Hey, matey, let's do a little jig. Oh, brother. This writing, I love it. Sailor sent out Machop. We got... Let's try Fury Attack again. Yeah, wowie wow. Okay. If we get a 4th hit, that's it. Hit the enemy 3 times. Critical hit. They got a critical hit on us. Let's use Peck. End this fest. What is fest? What is fest? Fast. What, I don't know what accent that was, because no one... It's not a New York accent, because people in New York didn't talk like that. I mean, well, in a port city like New York, people talked however. Louis Shelder will... let's switch over to Pikachu again. Have them level up a bit. And hopefully by the time we get... I do want to evolve this Pikachu into Raichu by the time... You know, because Raichu is just big neato. So hopefully by the time we get to Celadon City Department Store, we will learn any moves. I'll check the player's guide, see if there are any moves we want to use. You know what? Oh, by the way, did anyone... is anyone aware? They finally released the pilot for Thomas the Tank Engine. They did a pilot version of Down the Mine, which they did record in Season 1 as an actual episode, but there is an unaired version that was never seen by the public except for a few moments that were used as B-roll in the final version of Down the Mine. And it's funny, it seems as though, from what I've seen, and it's amazing that Mattel did this, because not only is Mattel, like, their handling of Thomas the Tank Engine since ending the original series, arguably significantly before that as well, but Mattel, I haven't had too much to be thankful for or happy about in regards to Mattel's handling of the Thomas the Tank Engine franchise. The fact that they had the pilot. Hey there. Oh, hold on. The Everyday Ninja XX. Have you been in chat before? But you don't have to expose if you did. The Everyday Ninja. I'm doing great today. Thanks for dropping in. Kalakaboy just redeemed Sodor Lore Reading. I'm gonna set a 5-minute. Where's my timer? I'm gonna set that. I'll redeem that in 5 minutes time. But yeah, I'm doing great. I was talking about, I was actually, you probably walked in on me talking about it. They recently revealed Mattel had the unaired pilot, unaired for like 40 years, the pilot for Thomas the Tank Engine. They did a 4-minute pilot episode, and I'm not very happy with the way, it used to be Zipboy 113. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, the Everyday Ninja X, because you chose not to lean in on the capitalization, so I really had to lean in and make sure I was saying this correctly. But it would be in the nature of a ninja to assume multiple identities as time goes on. I'm king of the world! Because I think this is supposed to be like the bow of the ship. The party's over. The ship will be departing soon. Okay, that's everyone up on top of the deck. There's no one else to fight except Gary. Yeah, so it was interesting seeing how, like, those sort of more, the less fleshed out models, the early faces they used for the Thomas and Gordon models, a lot of unused faces for Annie and Clarabelle. Hey there, Bill Preston. I'm just letting everyone know I am doing my 5-year anniversary stream on the 31st, because I think my actual 31st anniversary is on the 20th or something like that, and I'd rather do it on Saturday. It's my regular streaming time anyway, and it's something I already have cleared out to do my streams in. Bonjour, H. Imagine seeing you here. H, were you really invited? So how's your Pokédex coming? I already caught 40 kinds, pal. Different kinds are everywhere. Crawl around in grassy areas. Thanks for the actual genuine, Bill Press is saying, I feel like I did my 3-year anniversary last year. No, last year was my 4-year anniversary, which ended up also being it's funny, a year ago, a little more than a year ago, I did the whole ruse, the whole pretense of my 4-year anniversary was going to be that I was going to stream my first stream of Pokémon Red, and that ended up getting derailed by the advanced controller in the storyline, sending H to the backrooms like a negative dimension. You can see, yeah, we're going to go straight to the one we have the type Wow, my own Pokemon are actually leveled above the rivals. That's not that common. Yeah, and it's going to be nostalgic, Bill, because I am going to be doing a webcam stream for the first time in a long time. For the first time in about a year, actually. A year to the month, give or take. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, I know, Pete had a serious, life-threatening, health crisis. Fortunately, based on, I'll say this. I'll be frank. By every normal metric of streaming on Twitch, I failed in every aspect except for the fact that I haven't quit and that I've preserved 90% or so of my streams on YouTube. But I'm really, people will be like, oh, I've been streaming for 6 months, I only have like 50 or average viewers, what am I doing wrong? Meanwhile, I've got like a number of people here active in chat and just watching, you know, lurking, that are spending time with me. Imagine if I had 4 people over my house every Saturday. Ooh boy, that that did not go the way I hoped. We're gonna use the super potion right now. Like, that's like, even though first off, I never intended to do this professionally. Second off, the fact that I have people looking forward to watching me every single week is absolutely incredible, and I don't even have to order pizza or anything, as Bill is saying in chat. No, and I would not have been able to make affiliate, which was very important at the time in terms of unlocking a lot of relatively baseline features. And when I didn't care about making money to make affiliate. I wanted to be able to provide emotes, and now you can do follower emotes, which is fantastic. And I'd like to thank whoever just went ahead and followed me. I want to mention my follow alerts are anonymous. Just for following me, you do get a number of what do they call them? Follower emotes of adorable creatures called doorworms. Doorworms are symbiotic creatures that live on the tails of Lunarians, which is what I am, what this model is of. Yeah, they have big kangaroo-like tails, and most of them, not me, because I have a disability, as we will learn as the lore progresses. Yeah, Lunarian H has a disability and does not have a doorworm, and for that reason. But I actually started out as a cam streamer, and I'll be streaming again on webcam this coming on the last Saturday of this month. We're going to... Oh yeah, he's already paralyzed. I already... Doggone. Yeah, trying to talk in battle is a bit of a challenge, but no, Pete, if it wasn't for the raids he blessed me with, sharing his community with me, now, so Little Badger as 8791 is saying, yo, sorry for the bad English. It ain't my first language, but my persona's lit and they're in love. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, if you type in, I think, ! credits, linked to all my artists and creators, is, yeah, my character, this species, actually, doorworms, the little googly-eyed worm-like creatures, I actually invented back in 2004, and I created Lunarians as an accessory to doorworms, and not the other way around. My interest in why I created this species is, what would it be like to be a person with the experience of having a symbiotic creature attached to your body at all times? Something that could act as an extra grasping limb and the like, and it actually was sort of connected to your nervous system, to your endocrine system. And that's how I actually developed this species. And if you type in !lore in chat, you'll find links, and also in my About page, you'll find links to my YouTube channel. I started streaming back in 2020, and for the first 6 or 7 months of 2024, I actually started to develop a sort of a ongoing lore, an ongoing storyline that took place during my gameplay streams. I forgot to check who he was. Okay, it's Radicate. Yeah, ongoing lore where Lunarian, Human H, me in front of a webcam, was interacting with, what was in lore supposed to be an AI spam bot that was trying to take over my stream, and that storyline went on every single stream until it got to the point where he got upset at me and sent me, human me in front of a webcam, to a backrooms-like negative dimension, and he had to find a replacement version of me in a different universe, and he contacted several other versions of me who appeared on stream, and they didn't work out very well until eventually the character Lunarian H, as you see here, was introduced. So Lunarian H is actually a simultaneously existing separate character from, just regular human me in front of a webcam. I'm sort of not in character at the moment, such as it were, but Kalakaboy in chat is saying, in your case, it wasn't Pete that brought you to the channel, but instead due to my my YouTube channel. Yeah, it used to be called, for years, it was called G-Guru1. Now it's actually called Super Train Station H, along with everything else. But yeah, but I wish Pete the best. I know he streams professionally, and does YouTube, you know, professionally, so I hope his taking time off to recover and to do whatever lifestyle changes, you know, he made, whatever decisions he makes about how he wants to spend his time in the future. Actually, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see if this works. Oh, doggone it. Okay. Did I not? For some reason, I have to keep manually turning on my chat commands. Hold on. I have to let this pop up. Okay, so now I'm gonna try this again. There we go. Yeah, so there's the playlist with my lore. Now, mind you, most of the lore, it was a very complicated process incorporating scripted sequences with pre-recorded voiceover characters, because the idea was that these were AI spam, and I come up with this idea years ago, so the fact that AI has sort of come to the forefront in the popular consciousness is kind of coincidental to that. But who am I? Okay, Eradicate. Let's send out Nidorino. Let's see. Yeah, the fact that AI sort of became a current topic was coincidental, because I came up with this idea back when I first started streaming. But there are these characters that call me on a special phone that they gave me, so I'd be interacting with these voiceover characters. That the idea was that I was calling them. But all of those streams are going to be with me, you know, on camera, and then the Lunarian Age character appeared at the end. I'm gonna try to wait till I get maybe a few more viewers before I start continuing the lore within my streams, because honestly, doing a simple 3-hour gameplay stream, but if I add these lore elements, even though it may only be like 5 or 10 minutes of content, it takes hours of work between writing, between recording these streams, the phone calls that the characters I'm interacting with via text-to-speech. It takes hours and hours and hours of work, and to be honest, I'm going to do the Sodor lore reading once I finish Gary, since this is kind of a boss fight. Yeah, I didn't forget you, because, yeah, once I finish this battle, whether it's success or failure, I'm going to do the Sodor lore reading. And for those who aren't familiar with the Sodor lore reading, I'm going to read some lore from the actual book that the Reverend Wilbert Audrey wrote about the island of Sodor, which is where Thomas the Tank Engine takes place. But it's not a book about Thomas the Tank Engine having cutesy, adventures with his friends. It is a book about the real-life island of Sodor. Now, the island of Sodor is fictional, but it has actually, like, Lord of the Rings level, Chronicles of Narnia level lore and world building that treats it as a completely real place with thousands of years of history. So it is absolutely fascinating, reading all the lore that Reverend Audrey went into as he developed Thomas the Tank Engine going back in the 40s. In fact, this weekend is the 80th anniversary of the publication of the first book of what became Thomas the Tank Engine, which I could keep. I think. It's super effective. Yeah, I got knocked out. Okay. B-drill. Yeah, I don't want to send out. Now might be the time to get serious and bring out my starter. We want to drop their defense to an extent, and then we'll do. Let's see how much damage this does. Ooh, okay, that wasn't so bad. But they got confused. Okay, good. They broke through the confusion and we were able to land the attack in. Yeah, we're definitely... Come on, don't... No! Doggone! Yeah, so, the Everyday Ninja Double X, so Juan, have you been, alright, so it's been a while since you've been in one of the, I know you've been in chat a lot, but it's been a while since you've been in one of the Pokemon streams. Now, to be fair, I only started streaming this year at the beginning of April. But yeah, just going back, I know I keep going back to Pete, but it has been on my mind a lot. So yeah, Pete's support is, I know Pete, after my first stream, said that my first stream back in 2020 was better than people he knows he's been streaming for years in terms of my presentation, my layout, my on-camera presence, because that was the first time I ever live streamed. I bought a whole new computer and a bunch of equipment, having no idea whether or not I would even... Oh, wow. Okay. Whether or not I'd even like streaming. So, because honestly... If I wasn't doing streaming and video editing, everything I need to do using a computer, I could do using a Raspberry Pi. The simplest, most basic, low spec, I mean, it's a very versatile, powerful computer, but it's a very simple, basic computer. Yeah, if it was not for my streaming and my video editing, everything I need to do on a computer, I could do using a very simple Raspberry Pi, plugged into a monitor and a keyboard. So wait, actually, we're gonna start by healing Pikachu up. So if Charmeleon gets his butt kicked, actually we're gonna use Charmeleon. He's gonna get knocked out. I'm gonna let him get knocked out, but we're gonna drop his defense first, so that when Pikachu comes out. Alright, sorry, thank you. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. We're gonna bring out Pikachu. And Thunder Wave! Go straight for the tactical move, and then we're just gonna totally wail on him. He broke through the paralysis and dealt some damage, but I'm not too worried. Yeah, so Sword Art lore reading is I have that book on my computer, and we'll read just a couple of minutes of that lore, and you'll see how, like, if I didn't tell you that this was about Thomas the Tank Engine, you'd have no idea, because it treats it as a completely serious, real place and a real railroad. And that's the thing that modern Thomas and the way Mattel has dealt with it has been such a disappointment, because if you ignore the faces and put it on mute, if you watch those early episodes of Thomas the Tank Engine, you are watching realistic industrial activity. You're watching the operation of a completely real railroad. And on top of that, you have these accessible, child-friendly stories. But you're watching real railroading taking place. And arguably, even as early as season 5 or 6, but extremely more so as it went on, it just became less and less like a real railroad. And now with Thomas and Friends All Engines Go, you have arbitrarily train-shaped creatures that could as well be talking cats or dogs or something like that. Now, the Everyday Ninja is saying in chat, they always love to hear my take on everything new with Pokemon or anything retro Nintendo. Glad he rated me so I could give me a follow all those years ago. Well, thank you. And I'm glad you crossed paths with me. And I'm glad, I know I started off as a cam streamer, and when I do continue on with the lore, I eventually want to have streams where, you know, Lunarian H and Human H, you know, me in front of a webcam, are interacting with each other in real time. Which, yes, there are ways I can do that. Where maybe half the stream will be one character, and then the other will, like, listen, this is my... Human H might be like, hey, this is my stream. Like, this is my channel. Like, you're just filling in for me. I want my show back. And I have all kinds of interesting storylines and plots to... And... Or at least you're raising your Pokemon. H got 1,300. Wow, I got more for fighting a regular gentleman trainer. I heard there was a Cut master on board, but he was just a seasick old man. But Cut itself is really useful. You should go see him. Smell ya. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and save, and we're going to do our Sodor lore reading real quick. I know one of the times he streamed into me, I was playing Super Mario 64, and he happened to he raided into me with exactly 69 viewers, which was funny. You know, so for hold on. So, and by the way, I'm playing this on an analog pocket, so I'm using an actual cartridge that's on a flex and just explaining the equipment I'm using. But for the next 2 minutes, hold on. Where's my... Yeah, there we go. For the next, actually, let's make it 3, because sometimes my broadcast software is slow to switch back. If I use 3 minutes, it'll definitely be, Alright. Actually, I'll need to remove... There we go. I had to remove the switch, the analog pocket from the dock, because Pokemon doesn't have a way to make the game quiet, so I'm gonna bring up my... So, we're reading about the Skarloey Railway. So as we're at... So, they renamed the line the Skarloey Railway, and a set of then most up-to-date passenger coaches were ordered from Brown Marshall, and the engines, numbers 1 and 2, were built by Fletcher Jennings of Whitehaven, and named Skarloey and Renius, respectively, after the 2 places they hoped to attract people with their publicity campaign. The illustrations provided in Very Old Engines, which is one of the original, books, are courtesy of the Illustrated Sodor News. For a few years, the plan worked. Then, apart from a few keen anglers, a steady trickle of summer visitors, numbers fell. This, though better than nothing, was far from profitable venture, for which the promoters had hoped. By 1900, there were signs that the veins of copper were beginning to run out. But the miners searching for further copper in the foothills came upon good slate. The company's main interest was in copper, but they had no objection to using slate as a secondary freight. They lost interest, however, when the copper ran out at last and sold in 1909 to a Mr. Handel Brown of Krosny Kurin. Mr. Brown was a principal landowner in the valleys and prospective MP for Sodor East. Slate boomed during World War I, but slumped badly afterwards. Mr. Brown, nonetheless, kept quarries and railway running for the sake of his tenants. Sir Handel, he was created a baronet in 1937, died in 1950, and his son, now Sir Handel II, inherited an estate crippled by death duties. Much as he would have liked to be able to do so, he could not afford to take his father's philanthropic view of the dubious bundle of assets he now held. During World War II, the old mines had been commandeered for ammunition dumps, and the line was worked to the limit, providing slate for blitzed houses and pit props for mines. The borrowed locomotives in stock had now gone, and his own locomotives, rolling stock and track, were shockingly run down. Sir Handel had, however, a fine manager in Mr. Peter Sam, who, backed by his foreman, Ivo Hugh, believed in the line and was convinced that it had a future. They persuaded Sir Handel to delay closure for a year. During that year, Renius, the one serviceable locomotive, was carefully nursed and carried the whole burden of traffic. But this epic heroism would have availed little had not been for 2 discoveries. One, in the hills near Renius, of new and hitherto untapped bed of slate, entirely free from metallic impurities, and thus, in demand for many other purposes, demanded roofing. And 2, the discovery of among the muniments of Ulstead Castle, of a tattered copy of a document hitherto believed lost, the Book of Sir Harold, an epic poem in Sudric about the exploits of Sir Harold Marin, regent of Sodor from 1263 to 1275, a careful study of which suggested that Skarloey was the secret sanctuary to which he on occasion retired, and from which time after time he emerged with devastating force to fight invading Scots to a standstill, when digs undertaken by the Sodor Archaeological Society found supporting evidence, interest grew, and passenger traffic with it. So that's all we're going to read for now. We're going to go back to our main layout and drop the analog pocket and its copy of Pokémon Red back in the dock, and we will continue on. There we go. And continue on with Pokémon Red. whew, for another maybe 25 minutes. I'm actually going to set the timer for 24 minutes. There we go. And let me find my controller. Now, just for context, I'm playing this using the SN30 Pro gamepad by 8-Bit Dough. And here we are in the captain's quarters. Let's talk to... How to Conquer Seasickness is the book he's reading. I forgot there's flavor text here. That's cool that they put that in. The captain's reading this. Check the garbage pail. Yuck, shouldn't have looked. It looks like he's been throwing up. Crammed full of Pokemon books. Now, we're about to see something in this game that... Back in the 90s, when I was an innocent child, it did not strike me as odd, and I found it weird that a lot of the magazines and websites written by adults would make fun of this scene and what happens here. And now that I am an adult, I no longer have the innocence in which what we're about to see doesn't maybe hit a little off. Okay, let's talk to the captain. Captain, I feel hideous, seasick. H rubbed the captain's back. Rub, 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 rub. Captain, woo, thank you, I feel much better. You want to see my cut technique? I could show you if I wasn't ill. I know, you could have this. Teach it to your Pokemon and you can see it cut anytime. H got HM01. Yeah, so the idea of a 10-year-old child giving an adult stranger a back rub is, well, it's a little odd. But nothing nefarious was intended by it. And we've seen everything there is to see. We've talked to all the... the characters they are to talk to. I just want to make sure. I'm going to go in here with the first one, and if I recognize this, I know for sure that in all my travels, I've never seen any Pokemon sleep like this one. It was something like this. Let me get the scene entry for Snorlax. Okay, we're good. It's time to go. We're done here. Nothing new. We've seen all there is to see. We've done all there is to do. And it's time to move. The passengers are restless. You might be challenged by the more bored ones. Okay. That's one of those lines that was quoted in the pseudo sort of novelization of Pokemon that I do have the book of in my books collection, which is in storage. I need to get a bigger apartment so I could have a proper bookshelf with all my books on it. And goodbye, St. Anne. Yeah, it's interesting how the, Oh, St. Anne, excuse me, that's the anime version. This is the SS Anne. Alright. And if you go back, the ship sets sail, so we can't go back. That's that. We can never see the again. We can never access the area that has the boat again. Now that we have cut, we are no longer trapped. Oh wait, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it's actually until. Yeah, once you leave the area out to the east of Mount Moon, you will not have access again. Now, the Everyday Ninja is saying, how serious do I think that Game Freak is going to take Gen 10? For Gen 10, I don't want them to hold back. I'm gonna tell you, my experience with modern Pokemon, I don't know if you've seen, I forgot if you've seen me, did you see me play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Everyday Ninja. Did you see me play that? I was very disappointed by that game. I was very thrilled for everyone who had a good time with it. And in fact, the only reason I even gave Pokemon Scarlet and Violet a chance, and in fact I did so without even... I didn't even go ahead and... Yeah, I had a bad experience. I had a very bad experience with Scarlet and Violet. I had such a bad experience, in fact, that I've really lost faith in Pokemon at this point. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think I wrote a review. I said that I played Pokemon Violet. I played it as far as I did, in spite of how bad it was. I stopped playing it in spite of how good it was. That's how I felt about Scarlet and Violet. And as Bill is saying in chat, the only reason I gave those games a chance is because I liked Pokemon Legends Arceus. In fact, I stopped playing Arceus because I didn't want my entire year. I'm very slow. I only stream typically once a week, and for only 4 hours, which is relatively short for a Twitch stream. And I didn't want... I guess I could deposit the SS ticket. I won't need it for the rest of the game, and I won't be able to sell it or anything. But I didn't want my entire year that year to be nothing but me playing modern Pokemon RPGs. So I put Pokemon Legends Arceus aside, and it's like Pokemon Legends Arceus and seeing that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet looked like it was learning from what they started with Arceus is what made me buy Pokemon Scarlet and Violet day one. I deliberately avoided reviews. I deliberately avoided previews. I saw the first couple of trailers, and I'm like, okay, I'm satisfied by what I see, based on... Because the thing is, a trailer... It's kind of something, we get hyped to see the trailer for something we know we already want. But a trailer at its core its purpose is to make you decide whether or not you want to play something. The first couple of trailers, I decided, hey, I want to play this, I want to buy this game, day one. Day one physical. And I was very disappointed very quickly. And yeah, and it's like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Pokemon Legends Arceus, if they put all those work hours and all those resources into a single game and spent at least another year on it, we could have had Pokemon's Breath of the Wild moment. Instead, we had a game that was so... Nintendo acknowledges flaws to the point where they were providing people with refunds for the digital version, which is not something they normally do. At all. Yeah, like, I don't know, like... Even, I could accept Pokemon Legends, like, in terms of the sort of quasi... action RPG thing. I can accept that being something separate from, you know what? I wonder. Actually, I don't have my... Actually, I'm gonna do something kind of experimental. I wanna... Okay, first I'm just gonna save the game. I'm gonna save the game. Then I'm gonna quit out of the game so it doesn't mess up with my playtime. And then I'm gonna do something. You gotta bear with me. Now, funnily enough, the layout I have, which is most convenient for reading things, is my layout here for the Sodor lore readings. So now, what I need to do, I need to go to Tumblr, where I posted my review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Alright, now I found the post. Now, if I print this and save it, save to PDF. Okay. gonna save it to downloads. Now I open my downloads folder. Hey, here we go. Alright, this should do it. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Now I just need to actually adjust it so y'all could read it at home. Kind of. Alright. Transparency is, I can't turn that effect off easily. Yeah, so I'm going to read my review of Pokemon Violet. It's called Why I Quit Pokemon Violet. I'm officially done playing Pokemon Violet. No, I didn't complete it. Sadly, I found my enjoyment of it so deeply sabotaged by lack of basic quality control that I gave up on the game fairly early on, though I did put in a number of gameplay hours. In terms of total concrete plot progress, I completed a single gym and then briefly went into a Team Starbase just to see what it was like. The gym was by orders of magnitude the most easily completed first gym I ever encountered in a Pokemon game in terms of field-based challenges and Pokemon battles. From what I heard, the gyms in this game can be approached in any order, but they don't actually scale with your team's levels or based on how many badges you already have. If this is true, this is laughably lazy design for what's supposed to be an open-world game in which you can approach challenges in any order. But if it's not true, then pardon me on not knowing in advance whether or not this is true, as I went into the game as spoiler-free as possible in hopes of experiencing this game without outside bias coloring my experiences. The concept that gym leaders chose to face challenging trainers using a team selected based on the challenger's current experience level is something that had already been explored in official Pokemon material more than a decade ago, and the failure to deploy it here when the game's open structure obviously calls for it is inexplicable. I did the Cortando gym first. My levels were similar to the gym leader's own Pokemon, but I effortlessly crushed them and had more difficult encounters with the ordinary trainers in the overworld areas I had been exploring near the city hosting that gym. And yeah, the Everyday Ninja, full review right here. Now it's funny, I actually wrote this on stream. A couple years ago. As someone who will always pursue easy mode options when they are available, I am completely illiterate in regards to competitive Pokemon battles, and I don't even have the full type advantage chart memorized, but even for me, Cortando Gym was disappointingly lacking in difficulty. I also want to comment that the pre-gym minigame, which was set outside the gym itself, in an area on the outskirts of the gym. The Olive Roll Maze was a neat way to tie in some of the cultural elements of the actual locations of the game's setting the Galar region is inspired by, but the mechanic of moving the inflatable olive ball felt lame. Though it's only a minigame which is supposed to be inconsequential, I am harsh on it because it seemed like minimal effort was put into it regardless of its overall importance to the game. The playable character's in-game model does not act as though they are interacting with the olive ball, and I would go so far as to say that it appears that they are unaware that the ball even exists in their universe. Compare this to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, released decades earlier on the less advanced hardware of the standard definition Nintendo GameCube, in which the player character automatically looks towards objects of interest in the immediate area that can be interacted with, and the character's arms and face actually change to reflect the effort and intention of moving that object as the player makes this action happen. But in the Olive Roll minigame in Pokemon Violet, you just walk at the ball to make it move in the direction you want, while the character mindlessly gazes forward as though nothing is happening. It doesn't feel like a mini-game meant to entertain or challenge the player. It looks and feels like a collision detection demonstration assembled with minimal care or game design theory put into it. And even so, the mini-game was completely effortless to win, and I didn't even realize it was over and that I won until it took me to the results screen. There wasn't even an on-screen timer to add any sense of urgency to the minigame, and I have no idea if being penalized for taking too long was even a possibility. I've been interested in Pokemon since I first read a blurb in a gaming magazine in the mid-90s about a monster training and collecting and battling RPG for Game Boy that was becoming popular in Japan, and I was enchanted by its world and characters since the video games and anime first hit North American shores. The franchise shaped my life for the better in ways too extensive and detailed to discuss here, so I'm not happy to be in a situation where even after counting down the days till release and roaming from store to store to find a copy, that my interest in Pokémon Scarlet and Violet has deflated. In spite of how much I wanted to give this game a full playthrough, in spite of mounting frustrations, my final straw was when I actually stopped looking forward to streaming on the days I announced that I was to play Pokémon Violet, and felt as though I had to play it on my show in order to fulfill the schedule I promised to my Twitch viewers to stream the game. And Everyday Ninja in chat is saying they didn't even get to all the badges before they stopped. Neither did I. I did after just one gym. In spite of how much I wanted to give this game a full playthrough, in spite of mounting frustrations, okay, I already read that. The mere complexities of modern game design have already made me feel a slight disconnect from this title. Going from traditional 3D Zelda games like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to the new style introduced in Breath of the Wild was an extreme... Oh, oopsies. I accidentally switched the... Okay. Going from traditional 3D Zelda games like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to the new style introduced in Breath of the Wild was an extreme learning curve for me, especially in regards to operating the more sophisticated interface, though over time I was able to get the hang of it and enjoy the game. I never imagined I'd be in a situation where a Pokémon game of all things had a more complex user interface than the latest major Zelda release, and that I'd be mashing one button after another trying to activate nested, encrypted functions that were accessed in very simple menus even as recently as the Nintendo 3DS era. In addition to that, this game forces the player into tutorials for the simplest of things universal to most modern games, of even the mildest complexity, yet leaves tutorials for mechanics newly introduced to the Pokémon series restricted to completely optional and easy to miss places tied to special events. The real killer for me is the extreme lack of polish in almost every aspect of the experience. Characters even just a single body length away from the player character are frequently animated with frame rates resembling a flipbook in which half the pages have been torn away. Obvious short files and the pacing and timing of Game Freak's cutscene animations lead to thinly veiled shortcuts, such as cutscene text scrolling unreasonably fast even for a literate adult with above average reading speed. Static screenshots are sometimes used during otherwise fully animated cutscenes, and at other points, cutscenes loop clumsily and unconvincingly on a particular moment as the scene waits for a player prompt to continue the narrative. Other times, the graphics fail to accurately depict things that players are expected to believe are taking place within the game world. Important details essential to gameplay or story beats are sometimes not shown on screen, are mentioned only in interface or character dialogue, or are rendered in outstandingly unconvincing ways. In the first decade of the 21st century, I owned Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube and enjoyed games on all three systems. Since then, I have focused my gaming habits on Nintendo systems. I chose Nintendo DS over PlayStation Portable. I chose Wii over PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I chose Nintendo 3DS over PlayStation Vita. I chose Wii U over PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And today, I own Nintendo Switch, but not PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or S. If I was concerned with enjoying ultra-high resolution visuals and maxed out frames per second, I would not have been choosing Nintendo systems in spite of them being the lowest performance hardware options on the market. But even within the limitations of the Nintendo Switch, which is running a low power consumption mobile chipset that was arguably already out of date when it first hit the market 6 entire years ago, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet completely fail at taking reasonable advantage of what the system is capable of. Now, Everyday Ninja in chat is saying they just don't understand why Game Freak doesn't put more time into their games. I know the Pokemon Company's on a tight schedule with yearly releases and new merch and such, but still. No, the problem is the yearly releases have to stop. All the merchandise, this is the biggest multimedia franchise on Earth. And all the games, the anime, the card game, all of that is based on the game releases. And so they let that bully them into doing these ridiculous annual releases with a team that's way too small to begin with. But getting back to the review of Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are 2022 releases, published exclusively on Nintendo Switch, the same system that launched in 2017 with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was a game designed with the intention of being launched as an exclusive for Wii U, an even less powerful console, released closing in on 5 years earlier than the Switch, and more than a full decade ago at the time that I'm writing this, with Wii U itself having been considered widely underpowered at the time of its 2012 release, being in the performance range of high-definition consoles that entered the market as far back as 2005. Breath of the Wild had its technical shortcomings, but even the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild completely annihilates Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in terms of rudimentary technical proficiency. And when examining Breath of the Wild in terms of overall presentation in comparison to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the comparison is such as that I'm amazed Nintendo, who founded their brand as a video game manufacturer and publisher on industry-leading high quality, would allow their name to be associated with the latest Pokemon entries. I cannot overstate the extent to which Pokemon Scarlet and Violet fails to deliver on the promise of basic quality control. Games with far fewer technical problems than this game have been criticized severely by review outlets and the gaming community, and I'm convinced that these new Pokemon titles are being excused for their incompetence based on goodwill alone in ways that no other franchise would be permitted to get away with. In-game tutorial screens featuring screenshots for illustrative purposes are from the Japanese versions of the game and had this text censored out with a very crudely applied distortion filter and an embarrassing and ineffective attempt to hide this fact. This is not something appropriate. This is something appropriate for a work-in-progress demonstration build of the game, not the final product. The first time I caught a Pokemon, the Pokeball animation froze in midair, leaving me to think that this was the game's way of depicting Pokemon catching, and that these new Pokeballs hovered in the air rather than falling to the ground as Pokeballs in previous games did. No matter how good this game is, when malfunctioning animations are mistaken by an experienced player to be representations of what is actually taking place in the game world, that is a serious problem, and anyone paying money for this game deserves better. Shadows of environmental objects regularly flicker in and out of existence in a way that's not only unconvincing and an obvious malfunction of the graphic system, but in specific instances may pose an actual safety hazard to players susceptible to seizures triggered by blinking lights, which is something that a product in the Pokemon franchise in particular should have been exceptionally aware of after similar light patterns in an early episode of the Pokemon animated series triggered seizures in children, which became an international news event and caused widespread condemnation and ridicule aimed toward the franchise and the companies behind it. The seizure incident caused by the Pokemon anime impacted the culture of the franchise's brand management. That a particular Pokemon creature featured in that episode was never again depicted in animated form to avoid even the slightest association with the public safety disaster, and references to that particular character have been kept to an absolute minimum in the decades since, so the fact that glitches which cause blinking and flickering patterns being permitted to exist within the newest Pokemon game is mind-boggling. Characters and objects within immediate sight of the player character frequently vanish and reappear without warning. The player character is liable to sometimes phase through the ground or pass through what are meant to be solid walls, breaking immersion and sometimes causing the game itself to become impossible to play. It's been amazing to watch Nintendo fans point and laugh for years at slipping quality standards for headline games on competing systems that were significantly more powerful than Nintendo's, using them as proof that more powerful hardware and access and better graphics alone don't make for better games, only for them to now accuse those who point out the shortcomings and fundamental deficiencies of the newest Pokemon games of being haters who are holding Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, and Nintendo to unfair and unreasonable standards. The more extreme and irrational defenders of this state of the game have gone so far as to accuse critics of lying about quality control issues to make Game Freak look bad, and claim that the ample footage of these games and claimed that the ample footage of these easy-to-encounter malfunctions was either manipulated by hoaxers using video editing software or even filmed using deliberately altered copies of the game that were made to suffer glitches. I feel I'm being generous to Game Freak in saying that everyone who worked on the game had the best intentions, but should have spent, or have been allowed to spend, at least another year on this title. My already stated observations of the elements of this game, which are obviously struggling to function properly, don't even begin to address the parts that are simply reflections of either laziness, a rushed development cycle, or both. When exploring the game's world, I encountered multiple duplicates of the same stores selling the exact same items, within eyeshot of each other within the same city, or even directly next door to each other. This was so blatant that it made me speculate if these choices were cheekily made by rebellious lower-level Game Freak employees to see how far they could push the limits of corners they were instructed to cut by their superiors, before they were actually confronted over them by their employers. What's worse, the interiors of most shops are represented in the game only as text-based menu interfaces, which pull me out of the game just as much as laughably bad character animations that resemble fan-made parody cartoons posted to the internet. Poorly rendered, poorly applied, and obviously repetitive surface textures that make certain objects like cliff faces and buildings resemble assets lifted from a Nintendo 64 game, are just a cherry on top. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, itself a Nintendo 64 title, has every single shop in the game rendered as a location with an interior that could be entered and explored. No matter how inconsequential those store interiors were, they helped to convincingly portray a living world that is real to the characters within the game. Menu-based shops do not do that. My continued fascination with the Pokemon world and its characters, locations, its creatures, locations, lore, and characters cannot overcome the fundamental incompetence demonstrated by Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which completely demolishes my ability to enjoy it, which is a shame because the intent to create an imaginative world thriving with lively creatures, memorable locations, and characters worth helping or fighting against is clearly present, and in some cases the heights of care put into these elements match the lows of the bad quality control. Unless there's an obvious revolution in the Pokemon Company's standards of ambition and quality is reflected by the next generation of Pokemon games, it breaks my heart to say that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be the last mainline entries in the series that I will be excited for or interested in. I pushed myself to play Pokemon Violet in spite of all its bad points. I'm regretfully ending my time with Pokemon Violet in spite of all of its good points. And that is my review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And this here is my break screen, and I talked a lot more than I normally would in reading all of that when I did. And Everyday Ninja saying that they remember the game was bad, but boy was, it was quite the mess. Alright, so I will be back in 10 minutes. Where's my timer? Where's my timer? Oh, did I quit? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna set it for 11. Give myself an extra minute. Because all that reading rapidly like that, and I had to hold my head at a funny angle because my gameplay, when I do reading or writing streams, I have my dual monitor set up. In this setting, I actually sacrifice one of my monitors to be my gameplay monitor hooked up to my console, because very rarely have I played games on PC. So I'll have one monitor that my console is plugged into the capture card for, but to read and the amounts that I did, I had to look off to the side, but if I look off to the side, the motion capture for my model doesn't quite work right. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'll run an ad so that those who, because no one should have to pay to watch me without ads. So I'll run an ad later on so that we'll have less ad viewing for our non-subs later on. And I'll be back, and thanks for watching. Hey everybody, I'm back, and guess who forgot to run the ad? But, yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead, and when it happens, I'll delay it as far as I can. I'm sorry I forgot to run the ad. But, we are, back with more Pokémon Red. Now, yeah, I went downstairs, went outside, did some stretches, did some squats, had a couple of pieces of matzah, because we just had the, oh, I had a hiccup. Oh, I hope this doesn't keep up. Yeah, there was a big sale on matzah last week, since the holidays come and gone, so, it was actually a couple years ago now, but there was some really good, it was really expensive matzah at Whole Foods. Okay. So, what is our ideal choice? I guess theoretically Nidorino and Beedrill? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. As far as Pokemon that are still at level 20 at least. Yeah, especially, okay. Yeah, everyone else is already at level 21. And how much money do I have? Oh, I didn't even go shopping yet. Didn't even do my post St. Anne, or SS Anne, excuse me, because we're doing... You know, I know taking, especially for a streamer with a smaller, view count, stepping aside after only 2 hours to take a full 10-minute break is... And I know it hasn't been good for my numbers, but I know it's been critical. Hold on a second. I know it's definitely been critical in terms of me being able to physically withstand sitting around like this, because I could sit here for hours. But if I'm filming something, and I've been doing a lot of filming lately. I've been doing barrier aggression, which is my sort of whistle-blowing video about a certain autism nonprofit. It's not Autism Speaks, and I think what they've done is way worse than Autism Speaks. But when I talk for up to maybe close to 90 minutes, sitting here like and it's with this is there's more cadence, more when I'm just sitting there reading a script, and especially at a funny angle. The point is, it takes a long time. It takes a lot out of me, and given I haven't been I guess with what's with the battle Pete's been waging with his health, I guess it really has it reminds everyone who streams on Twitch or spends a lot of time on a computer. I mean, I don't know the details of Pete's health scare, but I know there are a lot of health risks in performing for a long. If you think of a professional, someone, if you're doing like a behind the desk sports commentary show or a behind the desk news show, you're working 5 days a week. Your show might be a couple of hours long. But with a team of people physically with you to help you out, and with a guaranteed stretch breaks every 15-20 minutes for the commercial breaks to run if you're on television. Whereas in live streaming, you're just expected to sit there for at least 5 hours at a time, maybe a 5 or 6 minute break. Longer than that, stretching it, especially if your show's not going to be at least the better part of 8 hours long every day. And it's physically and emotionally strenuous, and it's a physical and mental health hazard working those kind of hours. And the people who do it to pay their bills, I wish them the best, and I wish that people's flexibility and what they expect out of streams could adapt to let them work more reasonable and sane hours. Now we've got to teach cut to someone. You know what? That's not what I intended to do, actually. No, that's actually the wrong button. I have the wrong button mapped to my Stream Deck. Where's... I have a whole section just for Pokemon. Pokemon Puzzle E. No, so reading. Okay, there we go. Now it's mapped to the right button. There we go. That's not what we want to go to. Our Nintendo Power Player's Guide. And boy, oh boy, is my avatar not prepared properly for this. It is the wrong size, doing the wrong things, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at... So how much... So cut. So cut. A, B, is this alphabetic? What is it? A, B, cut. Does, okay, I was about to say, it only does 30, okay, so we'll zoom in a bit. So cut, HMO1, does it say? It doesn't say how much damage it does. It doesn't say how much damage it does? Come on. Alright, fine. We're doing this like super old school style with no reference point. Okay. Now I gotta wait for it to go back. Yeah, it's been so long since I used this. I forgot to go ahead and set this up properly. And I do want to do more magazine streams in the future. Please. Now it's being slow to go back to the game. But while we wait for that to happen, there's no amount of button mashing I can do on my Stream Deck that'll make it go over. And it's something. It's Streamlabs is being slow, not my Stream Deck. So clicking on the Stream Deck or clicking within my broadcast software is not going to make it go faster. So stats. Tackle. Alright. I'm gonna guess. Well, ironically, now I actually want to look at the guide again. So he has tackle. Yeah, I could reason tackle is going to be a better move than cut. Now the reason I'm being careful, an HM move can never be forgotten by a Pokemon once it's learned. It is permanent, which is to prevent you from soft locking yourself. Now, the move I'm about to teach, the thing about this move is that it is a move that I need to use to navigate in the main world. Why isn't it going back to my... Why now? Why now does it have to... Alright, my Stream Deck's definitely plugged in because it has a weird mode where it's like plugged in but not connected. Alright. I've never had this happen before. Okay. Okay, Pokemon... Pokemon trading card game. Pokemon pinball. Okay. Okay. I actually clicked manually. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. That was the Stream Deck actually did not work. I'm not used to that. Never quite happened before, and it was definitely responding and plugged in. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to search. Does is cut better than tackle. Okay, base power is 50. And you know, can I even, let's see. I feel like I'm very likely. It's not. I want to actually use the Pokemon that I have in my party for this, but I'm going to use this HM01 on the Pokemon I feel like I'm most likely to drop from my team. Okay, oh great, only Beedrill and Charmander can use it. Okay, it's gonna be Beedrill then. Delete an older move. Okay. I like how they say delete and not forgotten. String shot. I'm not really too concerned with slowing down opponents, so I might as well. Alright. And when I played Gen 1, I think my Charmeleon, eventually Charizard, was actually the Pokemon that I used for cut, which is kind of wild. Okay, now we can... Oh, of course, like the sweet summer child, I actually walked up to the bush, or tree or whatever it is, and pressed A. That's something you can do from Pokemon Gold and Silver onward. But here you actually have to go into the menu and manually select the cut. And here we are. Vermilion City, Pokemon Gym Leader, Lieutenant Surge, the Lightning American. Yeah, this was back when they hadn't quite established the idea that the Pokemon world was not a planet. It was a modern world, but not one on which the nation states as we know them exist. They're just sort of regions whose sort of sovereignty and political workings are left vague. Vermilion City Pokemon Gym Leader Lieutenant Surge, winning trainers Gary. Really, no one's ever won before. And Kalakaboy in chat's checking on me, asking where how the weather is in my area. It's starting to warm up. Yeah, it's a nice warm springtime weather where I'm at. Yeah, something I would find concerning or unusual. I went downstairs and there's a little like garden area thing near the outdoor parking, near the uncovered parking spots, and I went out and stretched a bit. So, Lieutenant Surge is a nickname. People refer to him as the Lightning American. He's an expert on electric Pokemon. Birds and water Pokemon are at risk. Beware of paralysis too. Lieutenant Surge is very cautious. You'll have to break a code to get to him. Yeah, so this was very difficult when I was a kid, but once I learned that when you find one, the other one will always be next to it, so will always be the one next to it, so. When I was in the Army, Lieutenant Surge was my strict commanding officer. You look... I know military isn't based strictly on range, but you look like a borderline elderly man. And... okay. Poison Sting? Or... oh no! Okay, we got paralyzed, like, right away. Okay. Beedrill, use focus energy. Alright, let's try. I'm curious. Claudio was saying they're curious if someone's done a colorized version of this game. You know what? I was just thinking of that a couple of days ago, and what got my attention when I thought of that is that I never even considered looking for that before. Yeah, because we're playing this as it would have appeared on the original model Game Boy that I personally am a fan of. You know, it's interesting. Everyday Ninja was, I know they were saying that they were interested always in my opinions on Pokemon and stuff. This is the first time well, actually, no, it's not true. This is the first time I played Pokémon Red. The only other Pokemon RPGs I played on stream are Pokemon Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet. Well, I guess for me specifically, Scarlet. No, I played whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I want to think about Scarlet and Violet. I don't like Scarlet and Violet, and I say that as someone who will actually stick up for Mario Party Advance. And in fact, I'm very annoyed because my copy of Mario Party Advance from back in, like, you know, back in the day, back in, like, what, 2004 or 5? I can't find it. And I haven't played it on my Analog Pocket. It's a game I want to play. It's a game I'd like to spend time with, but you know, why am I complaining because I can't find my hard copy? I have it on the Wii U Virtual Console. That's how I played it thus far. But to be completely real, yeah, I would say that the Game Boy Advance games definitely look significantly better on the Game Boy Advance. I mean, on the Analog Pocket compared to the Wii U's Virtual Console. Stop! You're very good! Okay, there's no reason not to go just heal up real quick. If he had more Pokemon, maybe, but, okay. Charm... No, it's Beedrill that has the cut. And yes, we have to do this every single time we come through here. Whenever the map deloads or we go into a building, we come back, that tree is fully grown back. It's a very invasive species. It's very determined to survive. You heal your Pokemon back to perfect health. Heal. Oh, and, yeah, Everyday Ninja's asking maybe they'll get, our thoughts on my fondest gen, either 3 or 4 for me. You know, it's funny, Gen 3, I never, you know, I'm in an interesting situation with Gen 4. I never played Gen 4 at the time, and it came out on DS. When I saw Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, just looking at it and what they were doing, I'm like, DS is capable of far more than this. They need to be more ambitious. That's eventually what I got with Black and White. That's exactly what I got with Black and White and Black 2 and White 2. When I saw Diamond and Pearl, I was not very impressed, and I actually skipped out on that gen. Now, mind you, I only got Gen 3 right at the dawn of I got Gen 3 in, like, 2004. Like, DS was already out when I got Gen 3. Yeah, I got it from Target. And even at the time I got it from Target, I was kind of like, wow, they still have Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I might as well get it while it's still in stores. It wasn't that long ago at the time, but at that moment, it felt like a very long time ago. They're like, wow, they still have GBA games. Let me go get this. It was like 2005 at the latest. It was like 2004 or 5. No, I'm very sure it was 2005. So when Diamond and Pearl came out, not only was I not impressed with what they were doing with the DS tech at that point, I was still playing through Gen 3. So I was no hurry. But I was watching the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl anime, and from what I know of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, it seems to be the case that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl the anime era of the Diamond and Pearl era of the anime seems to be the most faithful adaptation of the game generation it's based on. Like Pokemon, going through Kanto, going through Johto, going through Hoenn, they had beats, story beats, and elements from those games. But Diamond and Pearl, from what I could tell, was a pretty much very faithful adaptation of the actual Diamond and Pearl video game storyline with new elements added to it. And I started watching the Unova era, but when it very, very quickly into Unova, aside from any plan changes due to real-life events changing certain specials that were going to air, it very quickly became clear to me that Pokemon Black and White had no interest in adapting the storyline of Pokemon. The Pokemon Black and White anime had no interest in actually adapting the Black and White storyline and the way that Diamond and Pearl adapted the storyline of the games. The Diamond and Pearl anime didn't adapt the story of the games in the same way. So, yeah, I lost interest at that point. And it's just such a shame, because if they had if they had been more ambitious with Pokemon Diamond and with Pokemon Black and White's anime, and in terms of its relation to the games, that could have been the best season of Pokemon by far. Now, I have not seen I watched some of the Decalore Islands episodes of the Black and White anime. I watched like the Team Plasma and N arc. That was sort of more. It was a weird fusion of Black and White 2 elements with some elements from Pokemon Black and White. It was kind of odd. Yeah, it was just really odd. It was sort of certain things they had to work around due to real life tragedies. Oh yeah, I'm glad I didn't spoil. There are elements to the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl anime that are... There's a new villain that's introduced that's unique to the anime. They're not featured in the games. They are the best human villain in all of Pokemon, bar none. And their story arc is completed on the television series, but it's a shame because the villain is better than even most of the villains from the Pokemon anime movies. There should have been I wouldn't have minded them bringing this character back to be the villain of a mainline Pokemon movie. They have a great story arc. They're a great, very sinister villain. It's basically, imagine if in addition to Jesse and James, you had a legitimately threatening Pokemon poacher that had no respect for the lives of people or Pokemon, and they were willing to demonstrate that on screen and not dance around it. That is like if the actual regular Team Rocket troopers were chasing Ash around instead of Jesse and James and Meowth. That's basically what you get with this new villain in the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl anime. But we're gonna keep we're gonna cross our fingers that we won't get paralyzed. We won't suffer from we're fully paralyzed. If we're fully paralyzed again, I'll have to actually get out of paralyzed here. Okay, we're good. We're dealing damage. How do we get talking about the Pokemon? But the point is, I didn't actually play the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl games on Nintendo DS. So, on one hand, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl on the Nintendo Switch, in certain ways, they set a new low for lack of ambition in Pokemon remakes. On the other hand, because Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are the first Pokemon remakes that are not direct extensions and evolutions to the initial first generation of those games. Like if you look at Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, those games improve on and develop on everything from X and Y, and show improvements over X and Y. Yeah, always. Come on, you can take it, you can take it, you can take it! Yeah! Awesome! Okay. Come on, come on. Oh, doggone. I played dice and lost. No, who do we want? Let's have Nidorino get all the EXP for this. At least this means that one Pokemon's gonna get all the experience points. Really? Okay, that's quite a move. I mean, there's no way they can win at this point. So, in one way, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was disappointed, but not only... But Pokemon Sword and Shield, a streamer actually... One of my viewers actually gifted me the money. They tipped me money so I could buy Sword and Shield when I otherwise wasn't interested in it, and I was very disappointed. I didn't even get up to the first badge. I was like, yeah, this is just as disappointing as I thought it would be, unfortunately. So if we... Yeah, all our Pokemon are level 21 now, which is great. So even a fainted Pokemon can use HM moves. Cut. Yeah. So, Wi-Fi for the first time, trading battling was a big deal. Yeah, those were the things that I think they did deliver on with Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, Diamond and Pearl. That was cool. So, yeah, the Wi-Fi features, that I was satisfied with, but the presentation, some of the ambition and other aspects I wasn't very impressed with, though I know through the anime and through leading up, it has a good storyline, though. So that puts me in a position where there's a mainline Pokemon RPG of, you know, the old, you know, the pre-Switch era, the, you know, pre-HD era, that I have yet to experience for myself, but... And so I would probably play, maybe I should play the Switch version, I don't know. Because the funny thing about the Switch version, now I talked about ways in which it was disappointing, but as disappointing as Sword and Shield was, I really don't, I'm glad that Diamond and Pearl wasn't built based on that. But then, and so what's interesting about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is that essentially, it's like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are HD remasters of a non-existent parallel universe where Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out on the Wii instead of on the DS. That's what Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are like to me. It's like if Game Freak back then said, hey, let's do our first home console Pokemon game on the original Wii, and then Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are HD remasters of it. Uh-oh, the creepy music. Yeah. Alright, let's do this. Rocker wants to fight. Rocker sent out Voltorb. Now, I forgot about the Rocker archetype or sort of trainer class. Yeah, it's not... The Steel type doesn't exist, and I don't think Poison works against Steel. Yeah, Steel type was not established until Gen 2. Nice. Poison. Okay. Charge you up. One more, and then we'll let loose. Oh, it failed? Okay, can we only do that once? Can we, No, Everyday Ninja's saying that's why it's so fun. They even had voice chat on the DS back. Oh, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl had voice chat. I forgot about that. The only DS game with voice chat that I actually used was Metroid Prime Hunters, which is a game that I have on the Wii. I mean the Wii U. I need to play my Wii U. I've kept it plugged in before I even knew that there was a thing where if you leave it unplugged for a long time, like it become corrupted and brick itself. Alright. Nice. Hey. No. Yeah, I don't think using these poison-type moves would be as prudent on Magnemite and Voltorb, because I think they become Steel-types in later games. Once the Steel-type is introduced in Gold and Silver. He should survive, and I think I'm gonna... Yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm gonna go back and heal, but... yeah, actually, let's use anyone but Firo. I have a strong sense that Firo's not going to be participating in this battle. Poison Sting. Yeah, another Pokemon with... Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, Poison. You know, I haven't... Saying Poison, it makes me remember Pogs. There was something in Pogs, like if you were doing really good or something like that, called Poisons. Like, you know, because it was the 90s. We were edgy 90s kids. Not edgy, but, you know, we're 90s kids. One of those things like bad and like, you know, just sounded cool at the time, I guess. We'll use Leer and then... Now, Sonic Boom, I think, does have a chance to... I think it has a chance to... No, Supersonic, it has the same word in it. Supersonic, I think it's a tactical move that can cause confusion. But I don't think... Yeah, I don't think that... that Sonic Boom can cause confusion. Yeah, you couldn't have voice chat... Like in Metroid Prime Hunters, you didn't have voice chat during the gameplay. Yeah! Whew! H defeated Rocker. Fried. H got 500. And no level ups. But we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and save. Oh yeah, I keep walking up to that and pressing A. It's like, no, you're in Gen 1 now, kiddo. Gotta manually cut down your bushes. Okay. Alright, heal up one more time. I don't think we need to buy any potions right now, because we haven't used one yet in battle. So I think we'll be good to go into, Hey! And... Okay. And... there we go. Now, let's go in and find the switch. Nope, there's only trash here. Lieutenant Surge set up double locks. Here's a hint. When you open the first lock, the second is right next to it. Nope, there's only trash here. 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 Hey, there's a switch under the trash. Turn it on. The first electric lock opened. So, we have, nope, there's only trash here. Hey, the electric lock's reset. Nope, there's only trash here. The door won't open. Lieutenant Surge always was cautious. Okay, I'll talk. Lieutenant Sergi hid his door switches inside something. Nope, only trash here. Nope, only trash here. Actually, if I search these emblems first. Nope, only trash here. Nope, only trash here. Nope, there's only trash here. Nope, 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 only trash here. We're running out of, hey, there's a switch. So this has to be it. Yes, okay. The motorized door open. Yeah, that just... Because of the pattern I was going in, there was no way it couldn't have been the one next to the wall. Nope, there's only trash here. Crammed full of Pokemon books. Hey kid, what do you think you're doing here? You won't live long in combat, that's for sure. I tell you kid, electric Pokemon saved me during the war. They zapped my enemies into paralysis, the same as I'll do to you. Lieutenant Surge wants to fight. I wonder if the Lightning American epithet, if that's something that existed in the Japanese writing, or something they added during the localization. Wow, he's actually the same level as me. Now, Bill is saying, they like how this character in his lines implies American in the... America is a place of the Pokemon universe, and there are wars in which Pokemon are utilized out on the front lines. You know, the Pokemon anime, and especially the movies, have made references to conflict in the that have, like, actual wars, and they actually say war, that have taken place using with human wars that are fought using Pokemon as soldiers and as weapons. They do actually cover that in the Pokemon anime. Poison Sting, yeah. Now, like, this was early enough in Pokemon's history that, like, in the SS Anne, they're like, oh, we're serving salmon again. The passengers are all sick of fish. Or in, like, the Pokemon anime, there's, like, you know, an actual earthworm that a Pidgey pulls out of the ground and eats. Or, like, there's some early promo material within, like, you know, Season 1, like, Kanto-era Pokemon of, like, Ash, Misty, and Brock walking through, like, a carnival or a festival, and there's just a random, like, Pomeranian or something. And there's some real fish in Misty's gym in Cerulean City in the anime, too. So this was at a time when they really weren't sure how separated this world was from our own. If we keep, wow, look at that, yeah, his AI is so good, he actually used an item. Wow. Lieutenant Surge is about to use Pikachu will H-change Pokemon. No. Wow, the Pikachu's kind of underleveled. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Level 20 had us going into the SS Anne at level 20 had us basically be perfectly leveled, not to actually have to think about our moves, but not have any problems. It's like, oh, the infamous Lieutenant Surge's infamous Raichu. Yeah, our defense dropped from earlier, so Oh, doggone. Yeah, I like Raichu, but this sprite doesn't do him justice. Yes! Okay, that's best possible. Yeah, we're actually going to use our Paralyze, one of our Paralyze heals. I'm going to use Focus Energy. Yeah, so unless there's a chance, because of a gym leader having better AI, he may use potions or actual status heals. We'll see. But alright. Yeah. He wants to get his speed up, but it's like, I don't think you're having a speed problem right now. Even with the speed. Oh wait, we'll see. Okay, they actually got that attack in first. I really did not think that my Beedrill would be taking home Lieutenant Surge's gem. Goodbye, thank you. Yeah, let someone else get some of this EXP. Alright, as soon as we finish this gym battle, Clackaboy, we'll do the Soda Lore reading. Whew. And that's battle. And he's now at level 22. Yeah, if he kept hitting like that, Charmeleon wouldn't have made it through the battle. Whoa! You're the real deal, kid. Fine then, take the Thunder Badge. Why am I giving him like a bad accent now? The Thunder Badge cranks up your Pokemon's speed. It also lets your Pokemon fly at any time, kid. Yeah, the idea of the Pokemon badges actually giving stat boosts to Pokemon, I don't even know if that was in Gold and Silver. You're special, kid. Take this. It means Thunderbolt. Teach to an electric Pokemon. A little word of advice, kid. Electricity is sure powerful, but it's useless against ground-type Pokemon. Whew, that match was electric. Alright. Let's look at our items. Yeah, so we're almost halfway through the game in terms of our badges. Alright. And cut. We'll heal our I want to go back. One thing I do want to do is I want to go back and see what I forgot which Pokemon I left back at the daycare in Cerulean City, or just south of Cerulean City. Alright. Alright, you saved. Alright, so now, let's give it, what, 2 minutes? Yeah, I'm going to, hold on, where's my oh, here we go. There we go. Now, hopefully we actually are able to go back. It definitely appears as though... Okay. It's not going to the... I'm gonna unplug my Stream Deck and plug it back in, even though my Stream Deck program is clearly responding properly. Okay. If I quit the Stream Deck program and open it back up now. Yeah, I never had this problem quite this bad before, or really at all. Game Boy. Actually, let me look in. Oh, it's under utility. Okay. Oh, excuse me. No, go away. Alright. It's under utility. Alright. Now I got it. We'll read a little bit more about the Skarloey Railway. So they discovered an ancient manuscript, and by the way, this is actual Thomas the Tank Engine lore. So they discovered an ancient manuscript at Ulfstead Castle, the Book of Sir Harold, an epic poem in Sudric, the language of the island of Sodor, about the exploits of Sir Harold Maron, regent of Sodor, and so forth. Okay. Stuart and Falcon, formerly numbers 3 and 4 of the Mid-Sodor Railway, were brought and renamed Sir Handel and Peter Sam, respectively. As revenue further increased, Skarloey and Renius were rebuilt. The line was gradually relaid. Actually, let me start the timer before I forget. It was relayed. Another locomotive, Duncan, was acquired, and rolling stock rebuilt and added to. The railway's revival was such that in 1963 it was decided to extend round the lake as a tourist attraction. This loop line was extended in 1965 at the railway centenary and has proved its worth. There is one further point of considerable interest. In 1969, the Duke, number 1 of the old Mid-Sodor Railway, was found by your author and the Reverend E.R. Boston in a forgotten shed at Arsdale. And by the way, so in universe, just to explain, in universe, Reverend Wilbert, in the world of Thomas the Tank Engine, Reverend Wilbert Audrey, who's writing what I'm reading to you, is an actual character within those stories. So he is writing this in the first person as though he is Reverend Wilbert Audrey, who is basically exactly as he is in real life, except he also visits Sodor and is a historian of the place. Okay. In a forgotten shed at Arlesdale and brought to Croven's Gate. Now rebuilt, he runs as part of the Skarloey Railway locomotive stud, and they are thus in the happy position of having locomotive power to spare. They were thus able to help the Talyllyn Railway out of a difficulty. Oh, by the way, on my birthday stream, we're going to be watching a video about the Talyllyn Railway. It's a real place. So there's lots of real-life railroading history combined with fiction in this lore. In 1982, the Talyllyn's number 3, Sir Hayden, urgently needed repairs and was likely to be away for some time. Hearing of this, Sir Handel Brown at once offered the loan of his number 3 as a replacement. He commissioned your authors to visit Tywin, conduct the handing over ceremony, and convey his greetings to the Talyllyn management. We'll finish this paragraph. Number 3, Sir Handel performed his duties on the Talyllyn for 2 years to everyone's satisfaction and has now returned to his home shed at Croven's Gate. Yeah, so what that is, it's their Reverend Audrey, in real life, the Talyllyn Railway, painted their number 3, Sir Hayden, to look like the fictional Sir Hayden from Reverend Audrey's books. Reverend Audrey contextualized this as Sir Hayden was out for repairs on the Talyllyn Railway, so the Skarloey Railway sent their number 3 Sir Handel to replace him for the time in which the repainting had been a thing. So, alright. So let's see if we actually can switch back to our Yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. We're just gonna go over. I'm gonna click over to it in my scenes. Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon franchise has its own. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll have to reset my computer or what, but yeah, and it's really odd that I never had my Stream Deck fail to switch between scenes like this. So the first thing we're gonna do, I have to remind myself who the heck is over in. I'm gonna get on the bike for this. Make it quick. H, get on the bicycle. We're gonna go over to the babysitter and see who's actually in. Okay, so this is the gatehouse to go to Cerulean City. We don't. Oh no, to go to Fuchsia City. That's something we'll be dealing with later in the game. Yeah, you can ride your bike in the tunnel. There are no security guards to stop you. Yeah, there we go. Oi. Yeah, and you have to go all the way up here and then back down. Now, how the babysitter works. You leave a Pokemon with them. Every step you take as you play the game and move your character around gives them one more experience point. So eventually they'll be very strong. So let's check this out. Your Magikarp. Oh yes, right, Magikarp. It's grown by level 12. So I think you pay 100 per level. You have no room for. Okay, we can't even see how much it costs. Sorry, I have a little itch on my neck. Okay. Now, so it was at level 5, I think. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It's at level 17 now. I don't know. We're doing 17. Well, I want to check. I'm just going to check. What level does Magikarp evolve? $17. So how about this? We'll play up to. Well, let's actually. I genuinely want to remind myself. Okay. So our next move forward. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get a Lapras in the Silphco building. Do I want to play with Lapras? No, I don't want to play with Lapras because I've played with Lapras before in other games, and I've never played with a Gyarados before. Yeah. So our next move, I think. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to Cerulean. Yeah, we won't be able to go. Huh. We won't be, we're gonna be able to make our way. Yeah, so if you, just to show what happens, if you talk to the guard here, I'm on guard duty. Gee, I'm thirsty though. Oh wait, there, the road's closed. So I don't know if they're supposed to be corrupt or cranky or what, but I don't know if they've been paid off by Team Rocket. Glagaboy's saying so delighted by the longer stream today. Yep, so am I. All made possible by the actual break. Yeah, what was... Something else was... Last stream, what happened last stream? Oh yeah, last stream was kind of just an awkward moment where I was working on barrier aggression all day, and then I spent most of the day, I really decided, I save scummed my way, like save state scummed through Zero Wing, and I played a little Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and there was something else I played too. Oh yeah, Columns. I played Columns for a minute on the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console, or Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Classics, I think, or Nintendo Classics, or so, whatever it's called. Got some use out of my Genesis gamepad. But, yeah. Let's see, if we go down here. And yeah, and the Sonic the Hedgehog games for Genesis, played on the, I have all the 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog games. I have every single one. The only one I've ever actually played is Sonic the Hedgehog, and the first one, and I never beat it. So, actually, let's go in here. What a surprise! Diglett's dug this long tunnel. It goes right to Viridian City. At the time, it was sincerely nostalgic. Yeah, it was sincerely nostalgic to actually go all the way back to Viridian City area. Okay. Poison Sting. Yeah, we don't have... Okay. Dug a hole. Actually, all we have to do is wait this out. We'll use focus energy as a... We'll use this as a stalling tactic. And we might as well start seeing how many of our old Pokeballs, because now that we have access to Great Balls, it's not going to be... And which the Great Balls were called Super Balls in the Japanese version, but Super Ball is a trademark, I believe, of the Wham-O Toy Company. Now, it's poisoned and it's losing more and more HP, which makes it more and more susceptible to being captured. Wowie wow. I think you have a tactical move we could use if we... Okay, we can use... Well, let's start using some of these Pokeballs we've got. Oh, we only have one Great Ball. Actually... We'll use Growl. We know, yeah, so... Yeah, last week in particular, it was destined to be a shorter stream. But, no, I really wish if there's... My ability to stream like I've been, regardless if I take a break or not, it is so unpredictable and it's unfortunate. But the games I'll be playing, yeah, I'm playing I want to play the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Imagine being a lifelong Sonic the Hedgehog fan that has only played the Game Gear Sonic games and the first Sonic game on Genesis. Now I did play Sonic Spinball in the Wii era, which I do also have the cartridge of, and I played Sonic 3D Blast in the Wii era. I played like the first, I played around the first stage and was not even really that used to it. But yeah, we're gonna, after this turn, we're gonna start throwing Pokeballs. Yeah, it's ground versus electric, so those attacks are actually gonna be pretty tough. And of course, we're going to try to get our Pokedex count up. Alright, Diglett was caught. New Pokedex data was added for Diglett. Lives around 1 yard underground where it feeds on plant roots. It sometimes appears above ground. Can we give a nickname to Diglett? No. Diglett was transferred to Bill's PC. No, if I had my druthers, if I could just choose one thing, if I had the power to guarantee something about each stream, it would be that every single stream I had the stamina to do 2 hours, 10-minute break, then another 2 hours. I would love that, but I don't get to decide that. You know, if I don't have the stamina to continue safely, and I do, like, it is actual health and safety thing. It's sort of, I haven't gone into a great amount of detail on it, but I know it's held me back in doing a lot of longer streams that I would have liked to, but recently it's been pretty decent. Now, one thing, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but before I play the Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog games? Really? What are you scratching me with, Diglett? Jeez. Okay. Okay. Just gotta get all the way to the other end. Yeah, so this is a pretty decent area in terms of wild Pokemon to grind against. I'm trying to figure out how soon it'll be worth it to take that Magikarp out of... because I don't have any water Pokemon. And Magikarp at level 20 will become a Gyarados, which is a very dope Pokemon. There's a powerful Sea Serpent, and I wanna... you know... I wonder, between Dragonair, Lapras, and Gyarados, build myself a bit of a Sea Serpent team. Alright. I went to Rock Tunnel, but it's dark and scary. If a Pokemon's flash could light it up. Yeah, so... yeah, we're gonna need... yeah, so there's... I forgot about Flash, so we're gonna need to learn Flash. Yeah, Pokemon is gonna need to learn Flash. And when it does, we need that to go through Rock Tunnel. But I think... yeah, Flash is an actual HM. But I don't remember where we get the Flash HM. I'm enjoying this moment of genuinely not knowing. A fainted Pokemon can't fight, but it can still use moves like Cut. This is an in-game trait, I think. I'm looking for Abra. Want to trade one for Mr. Mime? Oh well. I don't think we have. Squirtle, Ekans... Paris, not Parish. Grimer, Shelder, Onyx, Coughing, Horsey. Wait a second, I must have went right past Abra. Of all the ones I've read out loud, it was just Abra, not one of them, or did I read it out loud and it sort of... Now, I did have an alert on my broadcast software that distracted me for a moment. Okay, Abra. We haven't caught Abra. Alright. And there are some very, some rather important items we are only going to get access to if we catch a certain thresholds of a minimum number of Pokemon. Things like... the experience share, which is going to very much be a benefit to us. So we're going to definitely want to make sure we're working on our Pokedex to some extent. Oh my goodness! Ah! It's a Doug. This is not common. This is very uncommon. Yeah, it's not every day you get a chance. I forgot you could even catch wild Doug trios. Come on. Not... yes! Good, good. Alright. Yeah. So... tackle? Yeah, we're gonna use some of our weaker attacks. Doggone! We definitely do not want. I'm actually going to use this turn to use a super potion on Pikachu. Not our ideal choice for fighting this battle, but you do not want to game over or have to retreat. Please don't... Okay, good. Okay, good. We're gonna use Growl. We do not want to do something that lowers their defense and then we accidentally knock them out. We're gonna lower their attack so we can last longer. And when their HP is low, we'll start throwing Pokeballs. When it gets up to about the P and PSN for poison, at that point I'll start throwing Pokeballs. Yeah, but we're not playing through Sonic the Hedgehog, the Sonic the Hedgehog games, until we play the Mario games. And because we played Super Mario Brothers 2, we played the Game Boy Advance version. We didn't play, what else? We didn't play, like... We played Super Mario Brothers for, like, a couple of weeks. We came very close. I think it was a total of 4 streams. We came very, very close. And by the way, the first Super Mario Brothers stream, I think the second or third, I made the very foolish choice to like, oh, if I don't play by the end of the stream and I had a countdown, then I'm gonna drink a little, like, 8-ounce cup of vinegar. And I looked online to make sure, is drinking vinegar poisonous or dangerous? It said, no. Just because it isn't poisonous or dangerous doesn't mean it won't make you throw up. So, yeah, don't do it. So Growl, Peck. No, we want to Growl. Yeah, after Pokemon, I'm doing an NES Black Box Variety Day minus the sports games, Metroid and Kid Icarus. And then I'm gonna do a Super Mario Brothers, you know, try to attempt to beat it. Even just a single stream. I'm just trying to beat Super Mario Brothers. Redo my NES history lesson I did back in early 2023. And after that, I think we're just gonna go on a... Yeah, I think... Yeah, a certain number of hours in which I will be playing it's Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3. I can't necessarily say that we'll beat either of them. Super Mario Brothers 3, I've never played through that game. I played hours of it. I never got that. I rarely got past World 3 in Super Mario Brothers 3, even though it was one of my favorite games back in the late 90s, early 2000s. But now is the time to start throwing Pokeballs. Come on. No. No dice on that one. I don't think it'll lose health through poison enough that there's a risk of it. The only real risk in my assessment. Okay, this is our last regular Pokeball. After this is the Great Ball, which we have only one of, but it has a significantly higher chance of being able to catch the Pokemon. Alright, if we don't get... We're gonna throw the Great Ball. If this doesn't do it, then this just turns into us getting the EXP for it. For this battle. Doggone! Okay, that's that. No way we can catch it. I should have stocked up on Pokeballs. I should have stocked up on Great Balls. That's our lesson for today. Never leave home as a Pokemon trainer without a good supply of Pokeballs. At least it wasn't a shiny. And at least we leveled up. Yeah, and of course we have that ridiculous cave RNG. Where like every couple of steps you get a battle. Alright, so we're back on the Vermilion City side. Yeah, so we were meant to go to Lavender Town next. I can't tell you how happy I am that I sincerely don't remember where to get Flash from. No one spoil it for me in chat. I never forgot. Yeah, I genuinely don't remember it right now. Do I? Or what if I already have it? No, HM1 is cut. I think HM5 is Flash. Alright. In a half hour we'll call it a stream, but for now, super potions. Okay. You still can't buy Great Balls? Come on. Come on, game. Why can't we buy Great Balls? Spend 1,200 Pokeyen on doggone Pokeballs that are not going to be able to catch the higher level Pokemon that you could expect to be encountering. But, you know what? We're going to have to decide. I think now's a good time to try to start leveling up the Magikarp so we can get our Gyarados. But we have to decide which Pokemon is probably going to get bumped. Beedrill was better than I expected, especially in the gym. Do I want... Now, Fearow... Fearow really isn't offering anything too unique. Peck, flying... So it's our only flying type. But in terms of our main utility that we are going to need flying types for, or a winged Pokemon of eligible class, is to be able to use the Fly HM later in the game. And Charizard is able to learn Fly, so I'm probably going to use Charizard as my flyer. We're gonna deposit Fearow. Actually, we're gonna withdraw Fearow. Diglett and Mankey, yeah, those are just random. Yeah, we have to save. What's in box 1? Yeah, saving's a whole... Like, they, did some kind of technical trick to even be able to have this box changing system. Yeah, so let's put Fearow back in. We can't even look at what's in the box. Oddish, Ekans, so we did Geodude. Yeah, there's a lot of randos. Yeah, so looks like no, darn it, I changed the same box I was already in. Okay. So let's put Pokemon that we're no longer training in box 22 or box 12 rather. And now we'll change back to box 2. All the randos we catch, we could have in box 2. Now, so as we make our way back towards Yeah, as for Pokemon that can use Flash, I know Pikachu can use it. And it's a very, very effective accuracy reducing move. But I really wish, I know it's there are ways you could soft lock yourself. Yawn there. Soft lock meaning means by which you could prevent the game from being played any further, but that don't involve an error in the programming code that causes the code to stop running. I think that's the definition of a soft lock. So your Magikarp is grown to lock, but now it's grown by level 13. Aren't I great? Heal me 1400 for the return of this Pokemon. Thank you. Okay. So 18. It's not. Oh, I actually got up another level, so. Splash. Oh, he actually learned a damage dealing move. Yeah, unfortunately they couldn't have a PC in here. That would be too simple, but you know what? We won't even have to use the rare candies like I imagined we would to get them reasonably ready to. Actually, let's swap into the top of the list now. And we'll go back down south. Alright. Actually, I keep forgetting I have the bike. And we'll have to look in Bill's PC to check out are they HM? We don't have any other HMs, I'm very sure of it. Yeah, right as I remembered, oh yeah, get the bike out, idiot, and it was too late. Okay, we'll get it out now. Yeah, I'll never forget, I think I mentioned this back when we were near Bill's Lighthouse, I'm bringing anime things into this. When we were at Bill's house, I remember one of the first fake screenshots, or the first joke, it wasn't meant to seriously be taken seriously as like a hoax, like, or a fake code or anything, but there was a screenshot that said like Ash set fire to Bill's house with like some flame effects on it. So HP up, TM up, Moonstone, TM11, TM04, Old Rod. Okay, SS ticket. Actually, what else do we have that we don't need? We have HM1, that's cut. We can store TM24, that's, I think, Thunderbolt. And, yeah, so we definitely do not have HM5 yet. So we could have Pikachu learn that. I think Jigglypuff can also learn that too, our eventual Wigglytuff. Okay, so if we go down here, now that we're exploring new areas, I'll actually go ahead and actually let's fight a Diglett and see how that goes. Because as a water type, I don't think any ground type moves will be super effective or anything like that. So Digletts might not be a bad Now if we get a Dugtrio, I'm gonna try to have it fall asleep because I think that has a higher percentage of Oh gosh, yeah, critical hit. was saying about 18 being good enough. Yeah, there's a reason. I think there's a reason that Magikarp has a reputation of sucking, and I just remembered it. And it's even more of an insult when you just paid for it, and it doesn't even have a damage-dealing move. Alright. So we've got about 25 minutes left in the stream. Will we be able to get ourselves a Magikarp before the end of the stream? That would be amazing. Okay. Yeah, that did not go good for Nidorino, but let's see. Why did my monitor go away? Okay, that's more like it. So, good thing you don't care about catching them. Not that you're the first choice in terms of dealing damage with your native element moves, but yeah, that's about right. Now, do I dare to whisper of a dream that they're down low enough? I think we could actually do it. Magikarp's actually going to get his first knockout. Nice. At the expense of a great many, well, actually just two of my Pokemon getting knocked out, but yeah, we don't have access to revives yet, so yeah, I don't think Lavender Town even has a shop. Alright, so yeah, it's really not oh, critical hit. Wow, it actually vaguely did a decent amount of damage. Okay, so and yeah, let's use a fire type attack. It's gonna miss, but I didn't. And I'm trying to see. Okay. You know what? Let's be real. We're not gonna get that again. That was kind of a lucky thing that I was able to have Magikarp get all the EXP for that last battle. So, unless, okay, actually, okay, so it's gonna be shared. Level up Magikarp a little bit. So, I'm just gonna go straight to and deals a little damage. Well, because, like, the dream would be to damage him, and such as that poison's inflicted, and then Beetle gets knocked out. So we just gotta keep Magikarp alive until the end of the battle. Because Pokemon can't heal themselves in this game. They don't have, there are no held items, and wild Pokemon definitely don't have them, so. And... okay, decent. We'll win this next turn. Wait a second, did I? Okay, I thought... for a second I'm like, I hope I'd somehow... I didn't think Magikarp got knocked out, but I got paranoid for a second. Okay. There we go. Thank you, your Pokemon are fighting fit, so on and so forth. Do I have the patience to sit through... let's see how close Magikarp is. I like it. I purchased it. I'm still considered the OT. That's interesting. Okay. 225 EXP, level 19. Would it be just as fruitful to put him back in the daycare and walk around for 255 steps? Potentially, it might take less time to go all the way back to the babysitter, ride our bike around for 225 steps. But as long, you know what? The reason I'm gonna do this, we have the chance to encounter a Dugtrio again, and even though it doesn't seem likely that we'd be able to catch it with regular Pokeballs, the utility of that, whereas if we ran around on a bike, actually that was a decent. Okay, yeah, I guess that was just a fluke. Okay. Let's see. Can we... actually, that's not what I wanted to do, but now that we've done it. Oh yeah, it's a... yeah, why would I use an electric... even though... it's interesting, even though it was underground and would have missed anyway, it said that it doesn't affect it, not that it missed because they were underground, so that's interesting, but... let's, try to deal some poison damage. Okay, did what you did. Super effective. Okay, nice. Okay, now we have a chance to do this again. We're gonna... ironically hope that he doesn't get... yeah, so... actually, what we need to do... so it seems like the strategy now is to keep using Splash and then use potions when necessary, and hope that he keeps using tactical moves and not damage-dealing moves. Nothing happened. Yeah, so Splash... apparently they decided to localize this move as Splash, specifically in the context of Magikarp. But when it comes to the Japanese name of the move, it was something a little that caused it to make more sense when it appeared on other Pokemon. But because they just decided to localize it as Splash specifically for the sake of Magikarp, you know, it kind of doesn't make sense when you see it on... doggone! Duh! You sucked so much. Alright. Alright, that sucks, but I was so close to getting like a load of EXP for a magic card, but it didn't work out. Okay. Yeah, don't worry, I wasn't messing with an idle game in the background for a few clicks. Oh, you know, actually, there's technically... I never thought of this before, or if I did, I never talked about it on stream. Unless I did. I doubt it. If I did, and you know of it, let me know. But, there's a game we have been playing on screen, a PC game, that we've been playing on stream for the first 6 or 7 months of 2024, and no one recognized it as a game. And I never called it out as a game, but it was on screen almost every moment that I was live throughout the entire Advanced Controller saga, and no one noticed it or called it out. Does anyone have any sense or any would hazard a guess as to what I'm talking about? I'm very interested to know. Yeah, we're actually, I have no clue what you're slashing me with, Magikarp. Diglett, but we're actually dealing vaguely acceptable damage for a moment, which is very exciting. Come on. No poison damage. Okay. Or poison status, rather. Why does he want to keep using that? Oh boy. Please knock me out. Please knock me out. Please knock me out. I want you to knock out Nidorino now. Yes. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Critical hit, good. Oh, if Nidorino gets knocked out, it is a guaranteed free EXP, full credit EXP for Magikarp. Okay. Oh, come on. Yes, deal damage, please. I don't know what you're slashing me with, Diglett, but keep using it. Alright. And... okay, not much damage dealt, but... nothing happened. Diglett used any Diglett scratch. Clear, nothing happened. Okay. Down to 14 EXP. Almost there, almost there. 8, 3 experience, 3 HP damage, jeez. Just chipping away the tiniest bit. 5. It'll be either this turn or the next one. Oh wow, but hanging on by just 2 XP, okay. And that does it. Yes, we're gonna use Magikarp. Enemies weak, get a Magikarp. And... yay, full damage. Now... 47. Yeah, so next battle, they're getting to level 19. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's go to... we'll send out Beedrill. We'll try to use that strategy again. We'll try to see if we can deal poison. And then... there we go. I'm just trying to chip down enough so that I could then spam focus energy and let them take me out. And I don't think the like trainer and wild Pokemon do not have what power points in this game. I don't think they until Gen 3. Oh wow. Okay, they actually got poisoned. This isn't like, you know, some deep tactics game like Final Fantasy. What's it called? Like Final Fantasy, where you could actually use potions on and other items on enemies as a tactical feature. Magikarp's at level 19. And so how much do we have to gain at this point? 1,390 points. You know what? I think this is a good time to use a rare candy. Well, actually, no. Not yet. Well, we'll save and we'll experiment. Maybe we'll reload a save, who knows. But we're gonna get that one of those rare candies out of the PC. Here we go. Rare candy. Okay, let's go back to the cave and we'll save there. If we go south, and by the way, if you don't know, that's gonna be that's a site where Pokemon is stomping the land flat for the guy to put a building up. And in Pokemon Gold and Silver, taking place 2 years later, there's still no building there. It's like waiting for mech apps to actually come out with their Mark 1 prototype. Mech apps, mechanized propulsion systems being what I'm convinced has to be some kind of elaborate hoax, but at this point... But they've been on, like... I don't think mech apps, mechanized propulsion systems, I don't think it's a hoax. But I do think that they intended to build the mech, and it's not gonna... a mech, and it's not gonna happen. They're trying to develop the first bipedal, like, practically used bipedal mech. Hasn't really worked out. Okay. So let's save here. And saw what it was like. Let's use the rare candy on Magikarp. I think they'll evolve. What? Magikarp is evolving. Oh my gosh. Magikarp evolved into Gyarados. Gyarados learned Bite. So let's... Are you kidding me now? Why now? This is the battle where I intended very specific... You know what? They're at level 29. Let's see what Tackle does now. Okay, yeah, definitely a significant upgrade in damage. Because the evolution of a Pokemon increases its capabilities, its like stats a lot more than just a normal level up would. Yeah, now it's an actual viable Pokemon. And we have a water type on our team for the first time. Actually, I'm glad the attack missed. Why don't we... Let's try again. Let's try again to see if we can catch this guy. And after the end of this battle, we'll save and move on. So, item... No. Poison Sting. Okay. That's what we want to see. Now all we have to do is wait. Yeah, you know defense curl, so you could wait your time and be harder to damage as we go. Alright. Enemy duck tree dug a hole. Damage by poison. And ooh, let's yeah, we're gonna use defense scroll again. Then we won't have much time to throw Pokeballs. We are as close as we can get. Okay, we have 6. I don't think we have 6 turns left. Nice. That worked out perfectly, actually. Unfortunately, we don't get EXP if we catch a Pokemon, but we got a team of Diglett triplets. It triggers huge earthquakes by burrowing 60 miles underground. Do you want to give a nickname? No? Alright. We're going to go ahead and save and call a stream. We're going to heal, then save and call it a stream. We're going to buy a Pokeball. We're going to buy some potions, some super potions. Heal. And we need a new Paralyze heal. And another Awakening. I'm gonna do a little shopping trip, and then heal and save and call it a stream. Alright, that went great. I'm really happy. That was cool. Thank you, Pokemon Fighting Fit. We hope to see you again. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. And, yeah. You know, and I never did talk about what my favorite Pokemon game was, so sorry about that, Everyday Ninja. But, yeah, that's... I can't even... Yeah, it's not even going to my, stream... My, my, end stream screen. I have to find this in my scenes lineup. I normally don't have to do this. There we go. So next time, I'll be back on the 17th of Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with more Pokemon. And Pokemon Pinball is a warm-up game. Maybe a little magazine. I don't think... Yeah, we still got a few Pokemon Power, like, mini episodes. Maybe I'll try to find some of the EGMs, like... The EGM that had the review for Pokemon. I don't think we found that yet, or that I've read it. But I'm gonna call it there. I don't think... Let's see, is there anyone I'm familiar with I could raid now? Not really. So I'm just gonna go ahead and end it there without a raid. I've got some Tamago Nigiri and 2 tofu onigiri balls that I'm gonna have for dinner. And I will see you all next time, and thank you very much for watching.